Reinhart, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, everybody on YouTube, what's going on here as we are getting ready to talk some serious Sasquatch tonight? Our guest, Chris Reinhardt. And, by that picture that he has, I'm going to hit him up for one of those hats. Those hats are friggin' awesome. Look at that photo in the profile there. I mean, how awesome is that? You got to have good swag these days. You really do have to have good swag. That's a badass hat right there. We're going to bring him on here momentarily, but first let's give a little bit of a beautiful rundown of all of our audience here. In the gold medal position, we have Race Fan, Commonwealth Andrew getting up early for silver, and in the bronze medal position, we have the gorgeous Katie, Music Maker and Dirt Road. Good to see you. Hi, John Swan. What's up? There she is, everyone. Alaska's greatest athlete, the gorgeous and talented Emily Bigelow. Thurston Howell III is here. Where's Lovey, man? Give us an update. James Smith and Joshua, how you doing, man? Gorgeous Renee, James Fadke, how are you? Cedric, good to see you, my bud. Nice to have you here. Nate Foote, what is going on, my brother in Spokane? Good to have you here. Brett Lewis is here, everyone, which means we can officially start the show. Brett will be signing autographs after the show outside of the studio, so line up on the right if you don't mind. Hey, Kurt Seltzer, Chris Moe, good to see you here. Paul John Tavares, still no Stanley Cup for you. Solar Warden, good to see you. The gorgeous and talented Jules, always a pleasure when you're here. Steam Train Mark in Australia, how's tomorrow looking? Please update us to see if we're alive in the future. Thank you. Would appreciate that. Howard and the Ronald Penton. Yes, the Ronald Penton is here. Jock Itch, good to have you here. Steve Stockton from KPNL, always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Oh, there she is. She's signing autographs outside of the studio as well. Simply Coco, looking stunning as ever tonight. Yes, she only uses silver Sharpie, so if you don't have a silver Sharpie, she's not going to sign that autographed 8x10. That's right. She has rules. Bisler and Helena, how are you? Helena, you're looking gorgeous. Manitoba Becky, the pride of Brandon, you are looking lovely tonight. Northern Illinois Sasquatch, how you doing? Welcome to our channel for the first time, I believe. Nice to have you here. Persevere, good to see you. And where are we here? Oh, this studio thing jumped here. All right, there we are. And Jason William and Nucker, good to have you here. Dirty Fylth, you are looking dirty as ever, and I love it, man. Jeff Bridges, tell me you're the actor. Tell me you're the actor, because that would be funny. Ghost66, we appreciate you coming on in. Boo to you. Hi, gorgeous Jenster. Chris GP, Bassmaster, good to see you. Hi, Middle Child. Tommy Ireland, nice to have you here. Focus, how you doing? Sinister Shorts, and hi, gorgeous Nikki from the Washington area. She's a Puget Sounder, everyone. Nikki, take a bow for being a Puget Sounder. There you are. Hi, Irish Lincoln, good to have you here. And Brett Lewis, Dave, I want to ski on your beard. Damn, man. It's a double black diamond, just so you know. It's a double black diamond. You could get hurt. All right, so much Jash. I think that's how it's pronounced. How are you? Good to have you here. All right, I think we're caught up. Oh, no, I missed Scott Taylor. Can't forget Scott Taylor, everyone. He'll kick me in the ass if I miss Scott Taylor. I'm having one of those nights where I'm like really, really thirsty. Really thirsty. I've got like a full glass of water. I'm almost done an iced tea here. Yeah. God, am I thirsty tonight. Greg Moyes, good to see you. Hi, gorgeous Jenny. Love you. And let's see how our guest is doing. How you doing, Christopher?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. You look like a kind of guy, man, where you could pack a serious beard if you tried.
I actually just cut my beard off.
Why? Why?
The warm weather is on the way. A lot of hiking coming up, so spend I got 40 hours at work and then 40 hours in the woods each week, so the beard had to go.
I know. You know what? I had one of the coolest moments ever the other day. It was like really windy outside my house, man. And I'm walking my son to school and the wind is blowing in my face and my beard is like doing the wind thing. It was awesome. I'd never had that before. So it was kind of cool. Hey, Corey Foot is here, everyone. Foot, which means he's pried himself away out of his Toyota Prius, turned down Coldplay, turned off the Hallmark Channel to tune us in for a little bit of Sasquatch tonight. 405er Soul Survivor, welcome to our channel here on Spaced Out Radio. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hi, Richard Elmore. How are you? A good way to support this show, everyone, is by hitting that subscribe button, giving us a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you have the ability to hit that super chat, we really do appreciate the love and support. And yeah, you could grab some great t-shirts by going to facebook.com/the SOR Vault. Hey, brother Eugene, how you doing? How's Philly tonight? Hi, 11. We are literally going here in about 5 seconds time. We got a kick-ass guest for you, talking Bigfoot all night long. Here we go. Mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Tonight we're heading into the beautiful state of Connecticut, which I still can't understand why there's a silent C in the word Connecticut. But that's where we're going, where the Sasquatch search is going on full time. This is where we bring in Chris Reinhardt from Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch. He's got a beautiful hat on his logo, too, if you check it on out. From the sightings to reports, Chris is out running around the forest trying to find where this elusive monster is hiding. He's got some great stories that he's going to share with us. We'll bring him on momentarily. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Chris Reinhardt, what does a guy like me have to do to get a great hat like that? What do I got to do?
I don't know. I might just have to send you one.
Honestly, that's a great hat, man. Great ball cap. I love a good ball cap. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. That intro and all that stuff. Wow. I feel like I'm in the WWE right now.
I know. You just want to, like, rip the robe off and, give a little pull on the ropes there in order to make sure that when you step into the squared circle that everything is going to be just fine and not give out on you. All right. Okay. I got to ask you, man, what got you into Sasquatch?
I was always intrigued by it as a youngster growing up. I remember my neighbor across the street had the Guinness Book of World Records book, and inside of it had the picture of Sasquatch. And I was like probably 6 or 7. I used to run across the street all the time and say, "Hey, man, we got to open that book up so I can see the picture of the Sasquatch." And then the $6 Million Man came out, and he had the Andre the Giant as a Sasquatch on there. And after that, I watched every show 5, 6, 7 times that ever came out in search of all them shows. So ever since I was a little one, I was I was intrigued by the whole subject. And when I got older, and I actually got rid of cable, and we got YouTube, or we started streaming, and I found YouTube for the first time, and I punched in Sasquatch, and oh my God, there's 1,000 channels of Sasquatch. So I watched that for about 3 months straight, and I didn't know that you could actually go out into the woods and research these things. Or I always thought they were deep up in the Canadian wilderness, deep in something that you would never see around here. But boy, was I wrong.
You know what? I was pretty much the same way, man. When I got into this a number of years ago, especially after I had my Sasquatch sighting, I was going on YouTube, man, and I was like so disappointed that there was so much fakery on YouTube of people wearing costumes and just really really bad editing and it was so disappointing, so disappointing. How did you get through that disappointment to pique your curiosity to become a researcher?
Well, I concentrated on the structures at first. I just you could go in the woods, and if you look hard enough, you could come across something that that looks like a structure that you see on the TV or somebody else has found before, and that's how I started looking for them. And then once I started that, and one thing led to another, and then the interaction started coming because I learned that if you keep on going to the same places and you look at the small things that they do, they're watching you the whole time you're in the woods. They're watching you every step you take. If they're in the area, they're watching you first. And so they start letting you know that they know that you're looking at them and you're looking back and forth. And that's when all the fun starts happening. So the structure started out for me, and there's still bad YouTube channels to this date. So
Well, it's funny because when we go out looking for Sasquatch around here, I can honestly say that I have yet to find a structure. Yet. I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm just saying I haven't found one yet. So, I mean, we're going to get into all of that tonight, but we're learning about you here as you were growing up with this curiosity. Did you ever think that you would be in this field, or you talk to your family, I'm going to go find Sasquatch. What do your family and friends think about you chasing around the forest, wasting all this time?
believe it or not, I got 100% family support. The whole house. My fiance Maria, she's totally behind it. I mean, keeps me out of trouble. It's a great hobby to have. You're out hiking in the woods, you can't beat that. And yeah, and everybody supports what I do, which is awesome. There's some people that I've had friends that I had to step away back from because they would they just slam you behind your back, and who needs that in life? You're only here one trip around the sun. You might as well do what you love to do, and and who cares what the others think about it? That's the way I look at it.
So, why do you believe this creature is real and it's out there?
Oh, I've seen it. I've had interactions. I've had stone throws. I've last year in Missouri, I was with a group, and they were 10 foot away from a juvenile with the mother watching in the woods. It was unbelievable footage that I've seen. I've watched them on FLIR cameras for 10, 15 minutes, walk back and forth. Uh, yeah, so I know they're there. I know they're there. I had one walk up to the tent when I was sleeping in Missouri, and I listened to it step by step come up to the side of the tent. And it got to the side of the tent, and I knew if I looked up, whatever was there, I was going to see perfect because we had the rain gear off that night, and I couldn't do it. Could not do it. So it came down to me and through the tent, and whoa,
Ooh.
right on the side of my face. I felt the warmth of the air. Look at my, if you could see, you could tell the audience, my hair is sticking straight up my arms right now.
Oh, me too,
And
man. Me too.
I shook for about 15 minutes and finally stood up. I was just pale white. And the guy that I was with woke up and shined the flashlight on.
Wow. Wow. Well, Skype seems to have frozen here. I wonder if we'll get it back. Do I cut it off or do I go? My goodness. My goodness. Oh. Well, let's quickly just do that. We'll bring him right back here. We'll bring him right back here. So just bear with me here. Hope his power didn't go. That's just getting into a good story. That just adds to the woo, don't you think? Totally adds to the woo. Wonder where he went. Well, if we got to do it over the phone, we got to do it over the phone. Let's give it a second here. Because that's just getting into a really interesting Sasquatch story. Isn't that a reminder of just a couple of nights ago when we had Gary Spikes Jr. on where he was sleeping and that Bigfoot walked right up to his vehicle? Isn't that just amazing? Kind of similar. Out in the wilderness, of course. It's not going to be in the city blocks or anything like that. I mean, all of a sudden, there it is. There it is. Okay, I think we got him here. We got you back here.
You got my phone. I'm not on the computer no more.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Your computer having some troubles there?
No, I was perfect fine, and then you froze and went away.
Yeah, you froze on me too. I tried calling your back a couple of times on your computer there.
Huh. Oh, I don't know.
Well, let's just go like this until the bottom of the hour, and then we'll try hook it up properly once again. So you were telling us how this Sasquatch, you stood up and your buddy woke up, and what happened when your buddy woke up?
Oh, he shined the light right in my face, and I was just pale white. And he asked me, he's like, "Well, what happened?" And I basically told him, he's like, "Well, why didn't you wake me up?" And I said, "Well, I was too busy shaking for 15 minutes to think about anything else other than waking people up."
Yeah. I was just saying that, as you're telling that story when we kind of had the little blip there in Skype, I mean, that's almost very similar to what Gary Spikes went through that he just explained on this show a few nights ago.
Yeah, he had a crazy experience. He did. Yeah, if I would have had the same experience as him if I had looked up. I couldn't do it, though. I know whatever was there I could feel it looking down on me. I could feel it. But it let me know it was there, that's for sure.
I got to ask you, I know you felt fear. Explain to our audience who may be, caught in the concrete jungles of the world or the suburbs, not close to a lot of forest where Sasquatch is said to roam. What does that fear feel like?
It's like a freezing you in time. It's just like your whole body just tenses up and you're frozen. And all you're thinking about is, I can't even explain it. What could be? What could happen to you? I mean, he could easily rip through that tent and drag me right out of the tent and ended my life right there. To have something huff on the side of your face while you're in your sleeping bag, it's just undescribable. You just freeze and shake. Like if you had like the chills, but without the chills, and you're just shaking with fear. That's what it was like. It was the most intense moment of my life.
I asked Gary that same thing. And, one of the fears that he thinks of, or he doesn't like to think of, is the fact that how long that Sasquatch was actually watching him. I mean, you're almost in that same boat. You have no idea how long that Sasquatch was out there kind of monitoring what you guys were doing inside the tent.
Well, we knew they were there because we seen them on FLIR camera earlier in the night, and we found a trackway. We found a trackway about, I'd say, eight footprints. And then we went back to collect the cast that night, and we actually caught one on FLIR camera poking its head up and out of a creek area. So we knew they were there. And then that night when I was laying in the tent, I could hear he walked probably from about 50 yards away, and I heard it step by step. Listen to him come up to the tent. So it was just anticipation, and it's just crazy experience.
Chris, how powerless do you feel?
Oh yeah, you're helpless. Whatever's outside that tent, you don't even know what it is. You don't know how big it is, how strong it is. You don't know anything about it. Yeah, you just feel helpless. You're helpless because at any moment that thing. And to this day, I still feel the same way when I'm out. That was my first experience at night. I never been out at night before, and that's how I was introduced to the nighttime. And still to this day, when I go out at the night, I still have that little fear in the back of my head, just because I know they're there. Once you know they're there, it's a whole different ball game.
Well, maybe
you could go out in the woods. You can go out in the woods and say you're looking for them all the time, but once you have that interaction and you've seen them and you know that they're living, breathing creatures, then you'll think they're always in the back of your mind, always.
How do you know they are there? That's a pretty profound statement.
It's hard to explain, but I can feel that they're watching. That feeling that you get when people are watching you, or Yeah, I can right now after 5 years, I can tell you when they're around and when they're not around.
Is it an energy that they give off?
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain. No, the first sign is if there's no wildlife, no birds chirping, no squirrels around, no deer, no, the whole forest is just empty and quiet. That's a sure sign that they're around. At least in my areas. I can't speak for everywhere, but I can just speak for what's happening here in Connecticut.
Okay.
Um,
So do you think then that, and that gets into the controversial side of Sasquatch, and I was hoping to go there a little later, but since we're kind of here right now, let's just get into it. Do you think there is something special about this creature then that kind of lets you know because it may have a connection to you on a spiritual or intuitive level?
I believe that 100%.
Why is that?
It's just the way they act around you, the way uh, they let you know that they know that you know that they know that you know that I know. You know what I mean? They my guys here will build. They'll leave me gifts. They'll leave me stones. They play a little game with a quartz stone that one of my trading post areas, and they'll bring it back, and then they'll bring it back, and then when I get close to them, they'll knock on a tree just to let me know that they're there, or they'll whistle at me. I mean, they're showing me the attention because I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know how to explain this part, but it's like they let you in. You're part of whatever they got going on, their family, their clan, the whole thing. You're part of that. That's the way I feel.
Oh man, you and I are on such the same page with this, such the same page, and I'm trying to be so down the middle with this. Putting my journalistic hat on rather than my geeked out Sasquatch hat. But when you talk about getting that feeling and them letting you know, are you going to the exact same place, the exact kind of the same time and everything around then? Is that kind of how you're doing it?
Yes, sir. I go the same path. We go the same. They actually the area that I'm in. They actually built the hike. They left me gifts. I would mark them on my map, and I would exit. Then I would go to another spot. They would knock on a tree. I would put the X on the mark. Now I have a big, huge loop that they showed me, and I travel it every time, and they'll interact with me almost every time we're out there. I had a new guy on our team this year, and he couldn't believe it. He could not believe it. He didn't think they were in the woods of Connecticut. He's a believer, but when I brought him out to my area, and these guys were knocking on the trees for him while he was out there, it was like one of the greatest experiences of his life. So yes, pattern hikes is the way to do it in my book.
Okay, so for the amateurs out there, and I'm an amateur, many others are amateurs out there. How do we gain that trust? How do we find that area in our location? What are we looking what are we
Yeah,
looking for?
I let them show me the way. Like I said, when I first started, I would go to the areas and look at the structures. But we don't get the big structures here either. We get these are like little tiny breaks, and they like to stick sticks in the ground here, like little like twigs, 3 inches in the ground. I mean, I document everything on video. I'm still all about evidence and data. Don't get me wrong, but um, once you feel close to these guys, it's like you're part of the forest. It's kind of weird how to explain it, but people start thinking you're even weirder than you already are, looking for a 10-foot creature in the woods. But that's the way I did it. I started looking at structures, and like I said, they notice you looking at their stuff, and then they start letting you know. I mean, like I said, they showed me my whole pattern hike, showed me the whole thing. I have stones here in my office that they left me by a big X at the beginning of the creek where we walk in. They left 2 stones. The whole pattern hike was because of them. The gifting spot is because that's where they knocked for the first time, so that's where we chose to trade with them there. And That's been 5 years strong now, trading back and forth.
How long did it take, as we got about 4 minutes left before we go to break at the bottom of the hour, for them to gain the trust that they could communicate with you?
It took 3 months at the spot I call Larry's for them to start interacting with me.
So why did you choose that spot?
My buddy knew what I was doing, and he said he had property out in back of his house that nobody was for sale, and it was private property, and nobody goes on there. So I went and checked it out, and like I said, I looked for the little structures, and I found a few. So we started going there. I have other spots in the state here. I go to one of the state forests, and I have another clan there, or it might be the same clan that imitate my whistle, which is pretty cool. I've caught that on video and on recordings, and they like to use those mouth pops. If anybody's heard those, it sounds like sonar. It's like glunk, glunk. I don't know how to do it, but I've caught them on recordings too. And the different areas, different games, different interactions. But I'll tell you once we get back from break about a story that happened at the state forest that people would be interested in. I think it involves a Dogman.
Ooh, well, now we're getting into some good woo. Now we're getting into some good woo. You be careful, because our good friend Brian Bowden is listening in right now, and he'll start a podcast on that. He's got like 1,700 podcasts that he hosts, every week. It's amazing. This guy doesn't do anything else but host podcasts. But as we kind of wind down, you are a believer. You are someone who has seen this creature. What do you tell people who critique you on saying, no, that crap ain't real?
I tell them to come with me. You want to come with me? I'll show you. And I have turned, like I said, I got two team members now that didn't believe before, but now 100% believe.
And it's one of those things, you don't need to be a hunter. You don't need to be an outdoors person or anything like that. You have to learn the skills, but you don't have to be that involved. You just got to be very, very perceptive, correct?
Correct, yeah. They're creatures of habit, in my opinion. This is all, of course, in my opinion, but they're creatures of habit. I believe they do the same thing every day, and time means nothing to them. They have all the time in the world to do whatever, to go from point A to point B. They're in no hurry. If it takes them 3 months to get 3 miles, so be it. They're, like I said, they're in no hurry. I think they're gatherers. They gather for the winter. I mean, I have a lot of hypotheses, but who knows? Hopefully one day I'll be able to prove something before I leave this earth.
You already have your own disclosure that this creature is real. Do you see it happening on other ends?
What, being it proven?
Yeah.
I think it's getting close. I think it's going to take the right technology in the forest and the right mental capacity in the forest, and I think you can bring these guys in. I really think another 5 years. I think at this area that I'm in, and the trading keeps on going, they're getting closer every year. I think I can bring them in hopefully within 30 to 40 yards and get that picture. I would never shoot at them. Some people think that it's going to take a body, but you know what? If you get HD coverage from them 30 yards away, I think that's enough proof. Well, that'd be enough proof for me.
Do you have anything to prove to yourself, as we got about 30 seconds?
To prove to myself about these guys?
Yes.
Oh, I got nothing to prove about these guys. I know they're real. I know they walk the forests. And hopefully I can bring them in.
Well, let's hope. Chris, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Chris Reinhardt is with us with Berkshire Sasquatch, and we are checking him on out because this is a good show, everyone. This is a real good show, what we're doing tonight. Let's have some fun with it. Talking Sasquatch. We're even going to talk a little Dogman here when we come back. I got to find out about this state park encounter right next on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear, my friend. Give me 1 second here. Hello, Rachmaninoff. How are you? Wagon Breath, you are just crazy tonight. Thank you so much for the super chats. You're kind of making me a little emotional there, but thank you so much for your love and support of this show. I really do appreciate that. Wow. That's just kind of amazing. Kind of amazing. I hope it's not alcohol induced or anything. I mean that with all love and respect. Oh, man. Wow. Thank you so much. You're way too kind. Way too kind. Hey, Chris, do you want to, let's try and get back on the computer here if you don't mind.
All right, I'm right here.
Okay, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call you right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Hi, lovely Lauren. How are you?
Yeah, you keep on calling the phone.
Okay, why don't you try me from your computer?
All right.
All right, we'll hang up here. All right.
Okay. All right, bye.
We'll try the reverse way. Gorgeous Jenster. She's like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's me. Gorgeous Jenster. There we go. There you are. I got you now. I just don't have your video. Dirty Fylth, what's going on? Thank you so much for that awesome super chat, man. Didn't have to do that. Wow, that's cool. Hey, Christopher, can you hear us? Guess not. Wonder why all of a sudden we're not hooking up on computer here. All right. I've got you, man. I've got you. I can't hear you. This is so weird. So weird. Hello, Thomas G. How are you? Wow. Guys are amazing. Try audio only. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Nope. Hi, Eva. Hello, Spudgerino. I guess we're gonna have to stay this way, dude.
Yeah, that's weird. I can see if you come and it says DS and doesn't come up with any picture.
That is so weird because I was like totally answering you. Like, hey man, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? And apparently not. Chris Reap, good to see you. Oh, there's our favorite UK. Mr. Cowley, welcome back to the show. Oh, Mr. Cowley loves his spaced out radio. There we go. Yeah, Brian, we're at a point in the show where we can't reboot. That's the problem. We can't reboot. That's the issue. Oh, well. You got a lot of battery juice there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm at 50% right now.
Nah, we're good. We're good.
I got charger right here too, though.
Okay.
I'm close.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm in the office.
Your audio's good, so that's all that matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So everything's going good so far?
Everything is great.
Right.
And Mr. Cowley's here, which means we get to sing to him. That's always good. You never go wrong with a little Mr. Cowley. All right.
Hey, I see Mr. Bowden was on there too, huh? I like Brian. He's a good guy.
Careful, because he'll start a new podcast just like that. He will.
I actually was on with him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
And he's another Connecticut boy.
I know. Living in New York. TH, thank you so much for that lovely super chat. Really do appreciate that. Wow, you guys are way too generous tonight. Way too generous tonight. Thank you. That means a lot. All right, we're going to get going here in about, I don't know. Oh, right now. Let's just say right now. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. We really do appreciate it. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with Sasquatch Hunter out of Connecticut, Chris Reinhardt. I should remember that because there was a Canuck that used to play with the last name of Reinhardt. Hockey player. You got to stick with the hockey players. And normally I get that stuff right. But Chris, you got a great story coming out of one of the state parks in Connecticut.
Okay. Yep. So, when I first started, this was like, I was brand new. I haven't even found Larry's yet. We decided to go to these areas in the state parks. And one night we were checking out another little structure that we found. And on our way out, we got to the main road. It's like a logging road, and we heard like a dog whimpering noise. Now again, I can't say this was a Dogman or this was anything, a Bigfoot, or I don't know, but our guess right now is a Dogman. So we heard this dog whimpering noise, and it sounded like a dog was wounded, like it got run over by a car. It's like
Right.
So we decided to go check out. It was like 30 feet into the woods, so let's go check it out and see if it's all right. So we get to that spot, and there's nothing there. All of a sudden, up to our left-hand side, about 30 feet farther up into the woods, the dog whimpering noise happens again.
Oh, my.
So my buddy goes to me, he goes, well, maybe we scared it. Maybe it's nervous, and it scooted up a little bit ways farther. So we decided to go to that spot where we heard the whimpering. We get there and there's nothing there again. Then what happens? You're right, 30 feet farther into the woods, the dog whimpering noise happens again. At this point, my buddy looks at me and says, whatever this is trying to lure us into the forest. It keeps on bringing us deeper and deeper. Let's get back to the road. It's getting dark. We didn't have any flashlights or anything. And if we hear of anybody losing a dog or anything, we'll report it the next day. So we get back out, we get to the logging road again, and all of a sudden we hear this.
What?
It was the weirdest sound. Yeah, the weirdest sound. And we turn, and all of a sudden you hear through the foliage the stone and lands 10 feet in back of us on the road. So whatever it was luring us into the forest wasn't happy that it didn't win. Ended up throwing a stone at us, and we hightailed it out of there. But to this day, my buddy has not been back into the woods after that experience.
No kidding. Well, when you have things kind of being thrown at you like that, it gets a little ridiculous. That had to be weird. Like when you went up to the first location where the whimpering was, and nothing is there. Did you hear anything moving through the forest like it had changed location?
No, but we were moving, so you can't really. We had the leaf litter underneath us too, so you wouldn't be able to hear it scurry away. Yeah, but there was we didn't hear anything scurrying away, But yeah, it just kept on getting deeper and deeper into the woods, and it was just like, no way, we're not going any farther.
At that point, it is about safety.
Yes, and I've heard from many of people that I've told the story from. It's the Dogman. They're the evil ones. They're the ones that want you. They're the ones that want to take you. They're the ones that want to eat you. From what I hear, I have never experienced I have never experienced bodily harm from any of this so far.
Right. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, being that close and getting lured in like they're baiting you. What was going through your mind and your buddy's mind once you hit that second spot where the whimpering was? There was nothing there.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't know what to think. It's never happened before. You don't expect that stuff to happen. That's the biggest part about it. When you're in the woods and you're looking for these guys and you don't expect what happens to happen. You hear about it and you read about it and you see all the stories but you never expect it to happen to you. When it does, it's just like, wow. And that's why I'm hooked right now, because the interaction has got me hooked to where I actually probably need it to happen, because it's like the coolest thing in the whole world when you get a stone thrown at you, or you get a knock at you, or you get the whistles, or you hear those mouth pops, or it's just so cool. I just can't wait to get that visual from 30 yards away.
How do you keep your composure going through something like that?
What the episode with the dog
Yeah.
whimper?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were rookies. I was only a month into looking for these guys when that happened. So we hightailed it. I mean, we scurried with our tails between my legs once we got to the road and that stone came out. And then we were sitting in the car on the driving home and trying to put one and one together. It was just, what was that? What could do that? What can throw a stone at you? Does this stuff really happen? Yeah, some people can't handle it.
How close
Some
was
people,
that rock to hitting you?
it was probably about 15 feet in back of us, 10, 15 feet. Every stone that I've been around that has been thrown at us, they missed us by about 10 feet, 15 feet. And we've had quite a number of stones thrown at us, which is an awesome experience, because what throws stones at you in the woods? It just validates that there's something there.
I've only
And
ever
you
had
put,
that happen once, and that was last year with my buddy Mike. We went out to one of our gifting sites, and this one I call my dead gifting site because we haven't had action there since the forest fires. And we were standing around the vehicle like, all right, well, let's get ready to leave, and kind of going over everything. Should we pull this site or not? And be damned if right in front of my truck, right where our backs are to the truck, and right in front of the truck, you hear a rock hitting a rock on the road, like something just threw it at us. And it's like, really? All right, I guess we're
yeah,
staying.
I think they're playing the game. I think they're trying to get interaction. They're trying to get you to react to them. And if you don't react to the stone throw, don't pay attention to it, I can almost 100% guarantee that you'll have another stone thrown at you.
Really?
I think they do it for reaction. I think they play a game. Like, we were camping last year. We finally got. I go to a place called Larry's, and then we were invited up to a property 10 miles up the road. And the same creek feeds it. So we decided we would go up there and check out. But see, we can't camp out at Larry's because it's private property, and we don't even know who owns it. We're not even supposed to be on the property. Number one. So up the road, we got permission to camp. So the first time we got to camp out there last year, we had stones thrown at us from like 8:30 at night till 4 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why is because we didn't pay attention to them. We knew they were throwing the stones, but we never went and looked for them. We never went to go check on them. We never gave them the satisfaction of seeing a reaction from us. And then when we went to bed, they continued to throw stones. I have recordings. I leave recorders going all the time, and I have recordings of the stones coming through the foliage at the campsite. It's pretty cool.
No kidding.
Yep.
So it's almost like they're upset that you're not hitting on them.
Right. Yep. They want that reaction. I mean, they probably use stone throws for tactical reasons too, to check if the campsite's empty. They'll maybe throw a stone in the middle of the campsite. They don't get a reaction, a couple of times, and they'll know the camp's empty. And I can tell you this from the past experiences that I've had, they'll come into the camp while you're not there. They will come into the camp. I mean, I've been on an expedition with people where they got recordings of the coolers being opened. why we're not there, and monster coffee drinks disappearing out of the coolers and stuff like that. So they come into your campsite when you're not there. So always leave a recorder going. I don't know what it's about the cameras. For some reason, they can pick up on them. I don't get that whole thing.
Is it about curiosity for them, or is it about making contact? Because this is where we get into a little bit of a great debate about these creatures on whether or not they're there to harm us, like whether or not they're there to take us, like we could expect is happening with a lot of the missing 411 and David Politis cases. There's a lot of stuff going on here, man.
Yeah, I don't see. I think there's bad eggs in every group. You know what I mean? You're going to have good Sasquatch, and then you're going to have the outcasts. You're going to have the ones that don't like you, don't like humans. And I think those are the ones that live out in the middle of nowhere where you see the missing 411 cases. But there's nothing to prove that they're taking people either. I mean, we're having enough hard time just proving that they're to people that they're there. But how can you prove that they're taking people? I don't know.
So how do you feel about it all? What do you think's going on?
I think, like I said, there's bad eggs and everything, but I don't know if they hurt people. I see. I haven't experienced that, so I can't comment on it. I only can comment on what I experience, because it's hard enough trying to put one and one together with what I got going now. But so I can't even think about one that lives out in the middle of Alaska, and then all of a sudden it sees humans for the first time, or it needs food, or I don't know. But like I said, from what I've told, it's the dogmen that you got to watch out for. Those are the evil ones.
Okay, well, let's get back to Sasquatch here for just a couple of minutes, and we'll get more into the Dogman in a little bit. So, for you and your experiences, you had a couple of close encounters here, especially the one in the tent where this thing kind of, woke you up with a snarl at you, if we could call it that. Okay, and I know the fear because you've explained the fear about that situation, but overall, what is your instinct about these creatures? Are they vicious? That you've experienced, or are they curious?
In my experience, they're very curious creatures. That's what I've experienced. I mean, the game playing and back and forth, and the leaving you gifts, and the little knocks on trees just to let you know that they're there. We found a structure last year, or early spring of 2019. We went up there early morning, and the sun was coming up right between the crosshairs. It was like an X that was laid in the vines. It was never there. It was on our pattern hike. So we noticed. That's another thing about pattern hikes. If you take the same hike, you'll notice the things that are out of place. Just remember that too. So we noticed that this was brand new, and the sun was coming up right through the X, directly through the X. I told Larry, I said, you know what, Larry, I bet you this is magnetic north. Bet you any amount of money it's magnetic north. I said, next time we come up, make sure we bring a compass. So next time we went up there, we went up and we brought a compass and we put it right on the X, right dead center on the X. And sure as enough, magnetic north. Two minutes later, in back of us, 2 knocks. Boom, boom. They were right there. Let us know they were right there, and let us know that they can see us checking out their thing. There was a directional marker. It had to be. They had to be traveling. It had to be there for a reason. The next week we went back up, it was on the ground. No more. It wasn't up in the tree no more. It was all knocked down.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got that all on video. I mean, you can go on my channel and look at the videos. I got the compass tree right on video with the knocks.
Incredible.
Yep,
Incredible.
it's pretty cool. That's what you live for. You live for those interactions. Don't get me. Every time you go in, you don't get the interaction. They're not there all the time. I mean, that's the beauty of having a trading post, because you know when they're there. I mean, 5 years I've been I'm documenting all this stuff. I can tell you which months they're there, how many times they're there in the winter, and yeah, I got it all logged in. It is, so we know when they're there. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
There was a different one there this year, though. There was one we never found nests before. We found 2 ground nests this year.
Explain what a ground nest is.
These were all snapped pine trees that were laid in a big, I would say it was about 6 foot by 8 foot bed on top of each other, and in the middle, it looked like Big Bird was sitting in it.
Really?
I mean, they were all stacked there for a reason. Yeah, those are. I got that on video too. Those are all on video. And this year was the first year we found those two, and then there was pine nuts next to them, like it's someone was sitting there just eating pine nuts. And 10 miles up the road, the same exact beds with the same exact pine nuts, and now we're finding the same prints at Larry's, and then we're finding the same print up 10 miles up the road. So we believe we're onto a trackway, which is pretty cool in itself. And we believe that they're following the creek. The same creek feeds the two areas.
Okay.
And we get the same knocks up at the other place up the road, and we're finding like the same footprint. We got that all documented. It's all out there for anybody to see. So that's what we're going to focus on this year. We're focusing on the trackways. We believe that they're walking that creek.
Do you think they're putting you in a position to see them, or that they're comfortable enough to just do their daily interactions with you?
I think like I said, I think the ultimate goal is that they're going to be able to come in and sit next to us. I mean, not like by the campfire, but I think within 30 yards is what I'm hoping for. You know, just for them to come down the path and sit down the path and let us know they're right there. I think it can happen. I mean, I was part of another group before, and it was coming slowly, but it was going to happen. But I think it can happen. I mean, it just takes time. Like I said, time means nothing to these guys.
Yeah.
Time means nothing.
What do you think they're doing? Or let's forget that question. Let's start off with the clan that you were working at. You've mentioned the word clan a couple of times. You believe that they do live in pods or clans or groups, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so with that, how many do you think are in your group?
I think there's 3 that were here when we first started. I think the little one grew up. I think the 2 adults went away. And I think it's either a male or it's a young female. I don't because again, this is only hypothesis, it's only what we observed. And now we're finding that print along that trackway. And I think there's one that was left behind waiting for its mate. That's why things weren't the same this year, because the big guy that we got prints of, he's 15 inches. And we only got his prints twice this year. So he wasn't around that much. So I think he came in to check in on who was left there. And I think that's why the nests are there, because it's cold and the nest will keep them warm. Where they're a family unit, they keep each other warm. So I think it's a young male is my guess. And I think there's going to be another clan that has a female, like it's arranged, you know, that type of deal. Because they're too smart to interbreed. They're just too smart. So that's the way I'm seeing it. He's waiting for his bride, and then he's going to raise his family, and that's what's going to happen. So I think that's what happened this year. He was left behind because his print's only 9.5 inches big, and so that's my guess.
Wow. So it's almost like mom and dad, gave him his own territory.
Yes, exactly.
Do you believe these are very territorial creatures?
Yes. I believe they have big, huge loops that they walk.
What would be the purpose of that? Is that the wild life of this creature?
Well, I think they like to move, because if they stay stationary, they'll be easier to find. So if they have like safe areas and they can go for like a couple weeks here and then a couple weeks there, and then move along and move along and move along, that's the patterns that they've shown here, that they're here for a couple weeks and then they're gone for a couple weeks. But from the end of August to Thanksgiving, they're here every week. They're gathering something here. The mushrooms, we got nut trees. They're definitely here for a reason. Because we get constant knocks. They're always here, always here. And now when I'm at my trading posts, I give them apples and peanut butter. People say don't give them food, but that's all we give them. We gave them meat for a little while, but then my buddy's Larry's wife started seeing them down by the creek, and we didn't want them getting too close to the house, so we stopped giving them the meat. So we just give them apples and peanut butter, and I bury my gifts under the ground in Tupperware, sealed, under rocks, and they know where it is. So they come, they lift all the rocks off, they pop the lid off the Tupperware, they take the peanut butter jars with them, they take all the apples with them. There's never a scrap of anything at the gift area. And somewhere in the forest, there's probably about 400 peanut butter jars, but under the ground, just to prove that it's not an animal, because there's no dig marks of something scratching trying to get underneath the rocks. So we try the scientific way too, to prove that it takes hands for whatever's doing it. And one time I forgot I had an olive jar. I bought olives to bring home with me, but I forgot I left them in the bag. And then the next time we went up to the trading post, it was vacuum sealed, factory sealed. We got up to the rock, the top of that lid was screwed off, and the olives were gone.
Oh, maybe they were drinking martinis on the side or something.
Yeah, they didn't like the olives too much. There wasn't too many of them gone, but it's just the top of the lid was factory sealed. A raccoon can't pop that.
Very true.
So that's all. It's all about proving to myself, and hopefully proving to others, and proving to mainstream that they're alive and walk the forests. For sure.
Definitely. We've only got about 2 minutes, Chris, before we got to go to break. At the top of the hour, Christopher Reinhardt is our guest tonight, hunting monsters in the mountains of Connecticut, and we are continuing on. I mean, the patterns that you have found with this creature, what do you think? What do you think are some of the specifics we should know about it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know how to answer that one. I would just approach them cautiously. Let them make the moves. Don't force the issue. Like I said, do your pattern hike. Let them get a hold of you. You develop a whistle with them so they know it's you. Use it often while you're walking the path. And then there's some people that'll say, that I'm crazy telling people how to get interaction from them because they could rip your throat apart. And let me tell you, I can't not tell you that they won't. I'm just can tell you what's happened in my little circle. So proceed with caution. Know that they're a wild creature, and that's all I could say.
Wow.
I mean, there's no handbook, there's no guidebook.
So when you were there and you were starting to notice the patterns, do you notice, patterns in trails they walk, or their interactions with you? Is there any similarities?
Yeah, I don't think I never noticed their paths. It's just the gifts that they would leave, the stones, and then the breaks, and then the knocks, and they would let you know what areas they are. And there's an area, areas where we don't go into because we're not supposed to go in there. Me and Larry actually got lost in there one day, and we've been up in that place hundreds and hundreds of times, and we went to that one area that one time and we got lost. So we've never been back in there again.
Yeah, and especially the forest. I got turned around at one of my gifting sites, and there's nothing scarier than being in a place that in the middle of the forest, and you don't know which way is out.
Yep.
That is very scary. Chris, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Christopher Reinhardt is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, talking Sasquatch, cryptids all night long. Stay tuned. More Sasquatch and Dogman talk in hour 2 coming up next. All right, I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back, okay?
What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Hey space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now.
All right, we got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Hey, 416, how you doing? Good to have you back. Bombshell Bomber, nice to see you. National Memorial, a pleasure to have you here. Brian Smith, thanks for joining us. That Flat Fellow, welcome to Spaced Out Radio's chat room. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. And we appreciate you being here. You having fun, Chris?
Yeah. This is a great experience.
Hey, Molotov, how are you? Yeah, man, I'm glad you're here. You're a good storyteller. Nice Kermit the Frog, by the way.
Oh, you see him up there?
I do.
I switched chairs.
Oh,
I'm in
nice.
lounge now.
Nice.
This is late for me. I'm usually in bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
You
get up at 5.
Hey, do you have a YouTube channel or Facebook page? What is it?
Yep. Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch for both.
Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch.
Yep. And then my Instagram is Squatchography.
Yes, you added me. I got to add you back.
Yep.
Hello, Shelly Morrison. Nice to see you back here for the first time in a long time. Thank you. I think it's been about a week. All right, we have about 20 seconds. Big thank you to Cat Chaser, Vinster, Brett, TH, Dirty Filth, Wagon Breath, and Dave Wadge for these amazing super chats tonight. You have no idea how important those are to this show. We really do appreciate the love. We're going to kick off hour 2 right now.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Grammalog. Grammalog is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with our good friend out of Connecticut. We have Christopher Reinhardt. He is with Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch. You can go on YouTube and Facebook to hit that like button for him. We'd appreciate that if you did. Christopher, welcome back.
I'm glad to be back.
All right before the break, we were talking about patterns, whether or not you've noticed certain patterns within these creatures and their habits. You mentioned peanut butter. You know, like up here where I am, where I have a couple of gifting sites as well, we can't put food out because there's a lot more animals out here, from black bears to cougars, grizzly bears, also porcupines, you name it. I mean, anything will eat anything up here. And, you know, you got to be careful with what you do. How do you choose and select the foods that you're going to put out?
We've been putting the same thing out since day one, the peanut butter. But now, like I told you right before the break, is that everything's always sealed. And then I put them in sealed Tupperware containers and click them shut. And then I put them 2 feet under the ground. And then we put stones on top of them. And then stone on top of stone on top of stone. Then we pack dirt all around it. And then there's a stone that's been at the trading post since day one. We put on top so they know where to look. There's no way a bear can smell what we put in that Tupperware. There's only way that you know that it's there is to know that it's there, you know, to that marker rock.
Gotcha. Now, in regards to the Sasquatch that you are dealing with on that end, and you mentioned that you believe that it was a family of 3 and the mother and father have moved on because you're only seeing sights of the younger one. Do you expect more to come into that area where you are?
That's what we're hoping for this year, that the mate comes this year. That's what we're hoping, that the family starts up, or who knows, it might have started up at the end of last year, because they were there every time we went in there last year. They were knocking on the trees all of October, right up to Thanksgiving. They were there. Every time we went in, they would knock, follow us. They actually were following us for the first time last year, letting us know that they were following us. And that's really cool. When you get a knock in one place, then you go, I don't know, another quarter of a mile deeper, and then they knock again and let you know that they're right behind you. So that's another benefit about the pattern hike, because they know where you're going. They'll get there before you get there. And then last year, for the first time, they were letting us know that they were there. So I think, like I said, I think it's the little male, and I think we're growing up. He's growing up with us, and he knows us, and he's getting more comfortable. And like I said, the big guy wasn't around that much last year. So that's just a guess. The substrate here in Connecticut is so hard to get a footprint. Is like you got to pray for them to step in the mud, and they like to avoid the mud. So what we do is at the gift area this year, we would take a little section and we dug it all up and fluffed out the dirt, and then we raked it back over so it looked like it was hard packed. And then he came in this year and actually stepped right in the middle of it. We didn't get back there for like 2 weeks though after we did it, but it was still a beautiful print. If we got there right when it happened the next week, we would have been able to cast it. Really, really nice print. But 15 inches, we know it was him. It's all on video and tape, and everything's all documented, always.
That is just great. Just great. In regards to this singular Sasquatch that you have, and that you mentioned, he's kind of grown up with you, and you've kind of grown up in your investigation with him. Do you think he is following you around to see where you are, how you react?
I just think he's just following us around because we're there, and he knows it's us. So we use the same whistle, so he knows we're coming in. I mean, the whole bunch of them knew we were coming in every time. There was a tree in there, and there was 3 sticks that were leaned up against them. And I had a buddy that told me one time that he in his area, they had the number of sticks that were leaning up against this tree, told them how many Sasquatch were there, and he had close interactions with them and all that. So he's seen my area, and I called them the trilenes, and there was these 3 sticks. It was a papa stick, a mama stick, and a little baby stick. And that's how we came up with the 3 of them being there. And we would find the 3 prints. We would find the little one, and then the mama print, and then the papa print. So that's how we came up with the 3 of them. I got off track there. I just wanted to get that out there. Sorry.
No, and I think that's great information. I'm a little confused about these sticks, because I've spent a lot of time in the forest, and maybe it's because I'm not used to looking for them, but what do you mean by these stick markers?
Okay, there was this one tree, and we was on our pattern hike, and there was 3 sticks that you didn't belong there. They weren't the same tree. It wasn't a pine tree. I think they were oak branches. And then there was one that was leaned up. It was a big one. It was probably about 10 feet tall. And then there was one in the middle that was about 6 feet tall. And then there was one right underneath it that was about 3 feet tall. And they were stacked perfectly in a line underneath each other. So that's the kind of stuff that we would look for.
Do you think that's markings that are just maybe set to your area, or do you hear Sasquatch researchers from around North America seeing that exact same thing?
Well, like I said, I had a buddy that he's the one who told me about that, because in his area, he had 5 of them, and they would put the sticks out, and then all of a sudden 3 of the sticks were gone, and then there was only 2 there that he would see. He was interacting with a family for a long time. So what happened at my area is all the 2 big sticks fell for the first time in 4 years. Fell to the ground, and the little stick was just left there leaning up against the tree. So it happened somewhere else. So that's how I'm coming up with just the mom and dad split and left the young male there, or the young female, one or the other, to wait for its mate.
Right. Got you. So in your area, do you think that there is a lot going on when it comes to Sasquatch being in the territory? Because the one thing or the one rumor that's around here, especially in First Nations legend, is that there are very few female Sasquatch out there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the population at all, or maybe he's going to be waiting for a long time, or yeah. See, that's just a mystery. I would believe them over anybody, First Nations, before I would believe anybody else. To tell you the truth, honest to God truth.
Me too. Me too. You know, and I think that's very important. You know, let's stick with that for a second, because that's a good line of questioning. A lot of researchers out there are very much pro science, pro this is an animal, pro that there's nothing interesting about it, that the First Nations, you know, because of their storytelling over the years, you know, it's just legend and folklore. We shouldn't put much stock into it. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I've experienced the weird out there. But I'm still 100% flesh and blood. That's the way I got to approach it, because that's the only thing I know.
So what have
like
you
I said,
what have you experienced that's real or weird? Pardon me.
The voices. You hear the voices. I got them on tape. I actually got a video that's called Sounds of the Forest. If you listen to it with the headphones on, when I first started, we were catching all these voices at the state forest. And we caught this old timer, and he's like, "Look at the old oak tree." And we never heard it until we played it. I got goosebumps right now just doing his voice. And 10 feet up the trail, there was this big pushed over oak tree. And it's right on the video. You can hear him plain as day. And we've picked up the voices, and you hear the voices. It's just not, you just don't catch them on video. You hear them in the woods. And then the lights, you see the lights. See, I'm starting to think there's something with the lights.
What do you mean lights?
The orbs, the lights. I have a video called Light at the Shredded Tree. And there's a deer at my game. There's a shredded tree. It was a maple tree, a sugar maple. And they were shredding it for a long time. And because there was no shavings at the bottom, the tree was just being shredded and gathered and gathered. And we kept an eye on it for months and months and months. So finally, I put a trail camera there. And there was a deer there one night. And he was just doing his business. But there was this light in the tree. And it moves from branch to branch. It looks like a crawling insect, but it's the size of a softball. And it goes and it crawls from branch to branch to branch, and then all of a sudden it comes around the shredded tree itself, and then it looks like it's about to come off the tree itself when the deer takes off and the trail camera ends. He doesn't stay there any longer. So I got that on camera. What it is, I couldn't tell you, but I have many, many of friends that are starting to talk about these orbs and the lights that they're seeing. But what I tell them is, I said, I don't know, see, I think one way and then I think the other way in the next sentence. So the orbs are a confusing subject for me, put it that way.
Yeah, and are they blue? Are they orange, red? What color are they?
The one that I have on video is like a flashlight bulb, like a yellowish. But these guys are seeing blue orbs, yellow orbs. So, but I tell them, another thing I tell them is say you're out in the woods looking for aliens, and all of a sudden these orbs start popping up. What are you going to say that what's doing that? You know, you're going to say the aliens are doing the orbs. So if you're out in the woods looking for Bigfoot and this stuff is happening, well, who are you going to blame it on? You're going to blame it on Sasquatch.
Very true.
So, but there's just, I don't know. There's just too many accounts close to Sasquatch that I don't know.
You sound confused in what you think it is.
I'm so confused because I was thinking, I've been starting to think of more and more about that they're together, and then once I start talking about them, then I start thinking the other way again. So that's probably not a good subject for me to get into, is because I don't know too much about them. But I do have a video on my channel with a light on the shredded tree, which is pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
And there's nothing in back of it either. It's all forest. All forest. And then I have trail cameras where there's these deer that are feeding, and all of a sudden they get spooked, and then you hear a knock on the trail camera, and then about 30 seconds later you hear another knock. So trail cameras can be used. There's a lot of people that say that they can't be used.
All right, let's get to some questions here that we have from our audience, and we'll start off all the way up in Alaska from the lovely Emily, who is asking, she says, I'm fascinated with these stick structures and what seems like a message or something. Do you believe they are a message?
I truly do, and there is a guy down in Florida right now that is putting one and one together. His name is Chris Connor, and he's actually putting a compass to these and measuring them, and they're actually lining up. It's really, really cool, and I'm actually going there next month for a week to go hang out in the Florida swamps with him to learn more about the structure stuff. So yes, I believe the structures are a total sign of something that they use it. It's either for travel, because like we said, we found that compass tree, or it's landmarkers, or it's games they play. They leave twigs in the back of Larry's pushed into the ground about 4 inches, and there's no way this twig can fall from a tree. I mean, it's the size of a toothpick, and it's stuck 4 inches in the ground, and they do this often. So yes, I agree 100% that they are definitely a message, or they're definitely used by Sasquatch in one way or the other somehow.
All right, let's get to another question. This one from Northern Illinois Sasquatch researchers. And they are asking, Chris, do you know of Snow White Bigfoot channel, a lady in Ohio who has lots of interaction with a clan on her farm? Have you heard of that?
Yes, I am very, very, very good friends with Snow White Bigfoot. She is like, I have followed her since the first time she came out. She has amazing stuff going on at her house, and she is the sweetest, kindest person that you'll ever meet in your life. But yes, I know Snow White very, very well, and yes, she has some awesome stuff going on at her place.
All right, do you want to maybe give us a little detail of what's going on over there?
Oh, she's been trading back. They leave her gifts like on a daily basis. They come up to her porch. She has a back porch. Now they're coming up to her front porch. She has glyphs that they leave in her yard that she's actually been documenting. She documents everything to the T, and which I applaud, because it's what needs to be done. You have to document what's going on. And she has glyphs that they leave. They're leaving messages on her front porch. They knock on her. They throw stones at her house. She's got handprints on her car. I mean, if you don't know about Snow White Bigfoot, check her out on YouTube, because she has some fantastic stuff that's happened at her house.
That is so cool.
Yeah, she's an awesome person too. Awesome.
That is so cool. So cool. Well, you know what? We got to try and get her on the show. That's what we need to do. Corn's the booking guy. If I know you're tuned in, make sure you bring up Snow White Sasquatch. Let's try and get her on the show.
Snow White Bigfoot.
Or Bigfoot.
You know what? I'll get a hold of her for you. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I
talk to her on a regular basis. So
yeah, put her on our list. We want to make sure that we get a hold of her. We've got about 5 minutes to go before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Another question coming from Northern Illinois Bigfoot. Chris, do you ever smell them?
We have smelled something up at Larry's a couple of times, like a skunky smell, but very brief, and then it's gone. Nothing constant, nothing like people have said, like they, smell it and smell it and smell it. It's around. We will catch a whiff of something, and then it'll go away in like 10 seconds. So we can't really say, one way or the other if it's Sasquatch or not. But we have smelled something pretty bad and pretty nasty, but very brief.
Well, if you were around my friends, I wouldn't blame Sasquatch for that, just so you know. I wouldn't. I'd probably blame them. But, it's weird because I've had some close encounters with this creature. I've only seen it. I've only seen 2 of them, and that was in my first encounter with them. And I've never, ever smelt anything. Never smelt anything. I feel kind of ripped off because everybody says, what did it smell like? What did it smell like? Oh, I didn't smell anything. Now, maybe that's because my nose is broken, but, I feel ripped off, man. I totally do.
Well, my experience that I had when they were right next to my face, I didn't smell anything either.
Do you have...
that you can't get any closer than that. Half inch from your face is pretty close.
How hard is it to get a photo of these guys that you're dealing with?
That's impossible. I have one that we got knocks, and we found it where the knocks came from. We flashed the cameras right in that area, and we found what looks like a Sasquatch head. We call him Bandit. He's got rings around his eyes, and I've caught him in numerous other videos, but it's nothing definitive, and I can't say one way or the other that it's him, but it's the same colors, it's the same eyes, it's the same everything. But I think like I said, I think it's possible, but almost impossible. So that's what we're hoping to do. That's our plan, is to get them on video.
Why do you think it's so hard to get a quality picture of these creatures?
I think they're bashful. I don't think they want to be seen. I think they like to play their games. They like to do their thing, but they have no need to get close to you. No need. They don't want you to see them.
How do you think they're able then to detect trail cams, no matter how camouflaged they are?
I don't think they can. I just think that's myth. I think everything makes mistakes. I think you're going to be able to catch one on a trail camera. I really, truly do. I have a buddy of mine up in New York State when I first started doing this that he had 2 really good trail camera pickups. So I think trail cameras are great. I use them to this date. I got 5 or 6 of them in the woods at a time.
Interesting. Because I think that's part of the great debate of this entire subject is, ever since the Patterson-Gimlin film, which is still so hotly contested today, we have not had a really good photograph or video that we can say conclusively is a Sasquatch. Sure, I'm positive they're out there, but we just really haven't had that video come forth. Have you seen evidence or video or have possession of photos or video that you are 100% conclusive that you're looking at a Bigfoot?
Oh yes, I've seen quite a numerous of them. Things that they don't share with others. You get good friends in this community, and you get the ones that are in the backwoods, in the backwoods, and that actually have the families living on their property, and you do see some really, really good pictures. But they will never ever come to public eye.
Well, let's talk about that when we get back from the break, because I'm a firm believer, and this is just me, that if I had the smoking gun video or photograph, I probably would never, ever let it out publicly. I take a lot of heat for that. I take a lot of heat for saying that, but I don't know if I would. I really don't. There's a lot of criticism in this field. We'll discuss it more with Chris Reinhardt from Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch. We continue right after this. All right, we're back. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks for saving me on the light deal because I don't know where to go with that. I should have never went there.
Oh yeah, you should have. Yeah, you should have.
You bailed me right out of there, though. But thank you.
No, you totally should have, because let me tell you, I'm more on the woo side of this creature. Okay, I don't fall under the monkey category or anything along those lines. All because one of my experiences, I actually saw pixelation standing beside a tree, and like 30 seconds later, we got roared at, and so I'm a little bit more on the woo side of everything. And I got to tell you, I think if more researchers reached out and talked about the woo side, unlike BFRO, who seems to be editing out their reports that anything supernatural happens to them, I think it's important because it adds to the evidence. And if you're going to eliminate evidence, just because you don't want to believe in it, or you're looking, you think it's going to hurt your credibility, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, my friend.
All right. But nobody's going to get rich off of this. You know what I mean? You do it because you love it.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you totally.
I've spent probably, I couldn't even tell you, 30 grand on equipment. I got $6,000 FLIR. I got $5,000 lens on my camera. I got a $4,000 camera. I'm all about getting that picture. And now that you mentioned, would I give it to the public? I can't answer that until I get it.
Well, let's talk about that when we get on the air. Don't spoil it here for our radio people.
No, I won't.
Yeah. You're giving good info and intel here. I need to save that juice for the show.
Yeah, no, I'll go right back at it. I'm starting to get a little sleepy though now.
Don't worry, I'll keep you awake.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're talking
what time
Bigfoot.
Is it anyway?
Right now, just think it's 10:32.
10:32. So what time's that here?
Be 1:32.
Cool.
Yep. You're all good, man.
I'm good.
You're all good. Rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I hope I don't get confused. So yeah, Snow White. I don't want to say what her name is because most people don't know her name. So, but if you can I'll ask her because she's actually I asked her to be on my podcast when I started, and she said yes. So I bet you I can get her on your show. Tell her that I had a really good time on your show, and I bet you I can get her on there for you.
No, that'd be cool. I'd love to have that experience, man. That's the type of stuff. It sounds like she's the type of story that I enjoy because I really enjoy the personal interactions, and I believe our audience enjoys it a lot more too, which is really cool. I mean, you can sit here and hear experts all day long. Well, this might be what it is, or whatever, and that's great and everything because you need that, but there is a number of stories out there which, I think connects people a little bit more to the topic than much else, than hardcore research. But we all, today's day and age, especially over the last few years here, we all want to prove how scientific we are, even though the majority of us haven't done anything scientific since high school.
Very true. Yeah, I have actually. She just sent me 2 game boards and twizzle thing that they actually played with on her porch. They're sitting right in front of me right now.
Nice.
Yeah, she. You check her stuff out once you get done with me or whatever. You got time. Just unbelievable stuff happens at her house.
Right.
Just crazy. Just craziness.
Yeah. Hey, Corinth.
She documents it all.
Right on. Hey, Corinth, did you get the name there? Snow White Bigfoot on YouTube. Snow White Bigfoot. That's who we got to track down. All right. We got a bunch more questions from our audience coming up here. And so just sit tight. I want to say a big thank you to Cat Chaser, Vinster, Brett Lewis, TH, Dirty Fylth, Wagon Breath ×3, and Dave Wadge for the amazing super chats. It's a really, really good way to help us keep afloat here and keep us going. Oh, Grendel as well. Grendel as well. Thank you so much for the love. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Welcome back to the second half of Spaced Out Radio tonight. We're talking monsters all night long, and I am loving this show. I want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with your questions tonight about Sasquatch. Our guest tonight from Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch, we have Chris Reinhardt. Chris, welcome back.
Oh, glad to be back.
All right, we got some audience questions here for you. Northern Illinois, or let's move up a little bit. Cy Tyson is asking, what are Chris's thoughts, Chris being you, by the way, on the Patterson-Gimlin film footage? Do you personally believe it is the best visual footage of a Sasquatch?
100%. I am a 100% believer that that's a real live Sasquatch.
Why do you believe that?
I just if that was a suit back then, I mean, the Planet of the Apes was around back then, and it's just this guy was struggling. He was a struggling cinematographer. He was gasping at straws to get that footage. Where would he come up with money to build a suit like that? To put breasts on it, who would come up with that? You wouldn't even in 100 years. How would you figure to put breasts on that? And just the muscle tone. I've seen the evidence. M.K. Davis does the evidence. There's a lot of people that 100% Sasquatch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I fully agree with you on that one. And the key for me is the breasts on the creature. And it's amazing how many people do not bring that up when they are breaking down the footage. It amazes me how many people don't.
Who would think that? If you were going to make a suit of a Bigfoot, why would you make it female, and why would you have breasts on it? Did he think that much into it? I mean, like I said, he was struggling. They didn't have the money to do it. It's just, 100% Sasquatch.
I agree with you. 100%. When in doubt, boobs. That's what I say when it comes to Patterson-Gimlin. When in doubt, boobs. Why do you think we haven't got that killer video, that smoking gun video since then? Why are we still debating a 50-plus-year-old film?
I think we're still debating because there isn't a body that has been presented to anybody. But I think there was one out there. I think the Iceman that was out there that was traveling in the fairs and the sideshows, the original Iceman, I think that was a Sasquatch. You ever read about that?
Tell our audience.
I can't remember the guy's name, though. I can't see. I just remember there was an Iceman that he used to travel to fairs and sideshows, and you'd pay what, 5 cents, 10 cents to walk in and see the Iceman. And they said it was unreal. They said it was so close to, but it was frozen. But then it got lost and it got sold, and then they made imitations of it. And so I think there's no body to be presented to science. So I think that's why the debate still continues to this day. All we have is the Patterson-Gimlin film and a couple others, and that's about it.
All right, let's move on to another question. Northern Illinois Sasquatch is asking, Christopher, what do you think they are? Primates, humans, hybrids?
I think they're hybrids. I think they're they're a step above primates. They're very intelligent. Like I said, I think they're organized. I think they have a plan. I think they have a mission when they wake up in the morning. I think they live their lives. And part of living their lives is to stay hidden. Like I said before, I think they gather. I think they disappear in the winter in the cold places because who would want to walk around barefoot? You know, it's cold out. I don't even want to go out in the winter time. And I think they live in caves and they gather and they store. And so I think they're very intelligent. So yeah, I think they're a hybrid. I think they're the missing link.
It's kind of cool to think that. Brett Lewis is asking, do the secret chiefs talk with the big men? I don't even know who the secret chiefs are. I just ask questions.
Yeah, I don't know the secret chiefs. Is he talking First Nation chiefs?
Probably.
Yeah, like I said, I think they know better than anybody else.
Gnome Squatch is asking, do Sasquatch drink beer or liquor that is left for them?
I've heard of them eating mash from the bootleggers. I've heard stories of them getting into the empty mash barrels and all that. So I don't know. I wouldn't leave anything booze for anybody. So I don't know on that one. But I've heard of them eating mash before.
I don't know, man. I know that a good friend of this show, her name is Edie. She's been on a few times. When she lived in Indiana, she had a gifting site where she was leaving juice boxes and all sorts of things in their Tupperware gifting site. And she actually got one of the Sasquatch there actually bit into one of the juice box containers, and you could see the teeth marks in it. She still has that.
I thought he was talking alcohol.
He was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Joe is asking, how about Bigfoot sounds? Have you ever heard the chatter or mimicking?
I have heard them mimic my whistle. I have heard them whoop. Here, we caught that late summer this year for the first time here, the whistles and the whooping. I've never heard the samurai chatter. I've never heard conversations from them. I mean, we've heard that dog whimpering noise, if that was them. And I have the sonar pops, the mouth pops, on tape, so I've heard them. And I've never heard screams like they do. I don't think they do. I'm more populated area, so I don't think they do as much of those screaming like they do out in the Midwest areas and deep in the woods where they can let loose. Here, if they let loose like that, there'd be helicopters and forest rangers and cops there because somebody would be complaining of them screaming in the woods. So, but I've heard the mouth pops, which is probably the coolest thing that I've ever heard before. It sounds like a submarine sonar. They go bloop, bloop. I can't do it, but this is what it sounds like, and we hear it all the time at the state forest.
My buddy Merle, who is in the chat room right now on YouTube, him and I actually had the samurai chatter in front of us. And
yeah, I would love to hear that.
It is weird, man, because it caught us off guard. It totally caught us off guard that we had no clue what was going on. And Merle and I were looking at each other. We're like, did you say something? And he's like, nope. Yep. And of course we didn't have tape rolling because it always happens. It always happens.
See, that's where I've been getting lucky is that they've been knowing that we're there and they know we have cameras or they know we're doing something every time we're in there, and they're mouth popping at us now and knocking on trees like crazy and just letting loose. So that's why I think it's the young ones that do that. I don't think the older ones do it.
Yes.
I mean, to get the reaction. I think the younger ones are the ones that come out and play with you. And I think they're allowed to come out and play with you to a certain extent.
Well, Merle and I, this thing got about 20 feet from Merle. And this was after we heard that. Kind of like that, you know? And it was trippy, man. We heard it twice within a couple of minutes. And we didn't know what the heck was going on because, you know, up here, there's not a lot of people up here. And I know many of our audience have heard this story before, but there's not a lot of people up here. And we were on a trail off a logging road. And literally, dude, it was, you know, there's one way in and one way out. And the way in and out is behind us. And here we are, middle of the forest, and all of a sudden, you know, I mean, it's like, come on. Like, what the hell is that? You know, that was the day. That was the day, and I was telling Gary Spikes just this a couple of nights ago. That was the day we got chased out of the forest. We know there was 2 of them there, minimum, because our buddy Mark, who was our armed guard out there that day, we watched him take off his backpack and raise his rifle because while Merle was being scared out of one area by whatever it was, there was another bipedal coming straight at Mark. He didn't see it, but he heard it.
Yeah, the bluff charge. I've had that happen before, and that'll scare the bejesus out of anybody. And then there's nothing there.
Yeah,
nothing there.
No,
it sounds like it literally sounds like you're driving a Volkswagen Bug through the forest, full speed, cracking, snapping, boom, 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 right at you, and then it stops, and then you're looking, and there's nothing there. Well, what the hell just made that noise? That's the weird stuff. The bluff charge is weird. We've had trees pushed over. I got them on tape too. I got that on video. If you look at my second video, we had a tree pushed over one day, the day that the bluff charge happened. So whatever, we were in an area that it didn't want us in. So I've been very fortunate to catch stuff on camera. And if you ask anybody, I am not a hoaxer. I am 100% truthful. I always have people with me so they can back me up. I never go alone. That's something that I very stress. Never go alone. Unless you have to, but you always bring somebody with you. That way you got someone to back up your evidence, number one. But if you you could also break your ankle out there, or you can get bit by a snake or something. Never travel by yourself in the forest. That's just a thing that I practice. But yeah, the bluff charge and the trees pushed over, and you know and then there's nothing there. That's the weird stuff.
Yeah, that's the really weird stuff, man. That's where it gets a little odd out there, and that's where it gets a little freaky. But I mean, I know, like with our buddy Mark, you know, I mean, this is a guy who's been a hunting guide. He's been an animal tracker on Vancouver Island, you know, and he's done a lot of outdoor stuff. And for him to say that there was something bipedal coming at him, because when you spend enough time out in the forest like he has, you darn well know what's on 2 feet and what's coming at you on 4 feet. You know,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And and he was absolutely tripping out over that. We didn't know what. We just knew that it was time to leave, and now we have a gifting site in that area.
Yeah, my Maria won't go in the woods any longer. We went to the state forest one time. She wanted to go, and we were paralleled the whole time we were in there. And then we got home, and we were looking through the video, and there was like a black object that ducked behind a rock. And she won't go in the woods ever again. Won't ever go again. It followed us the whole time we were in there.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
She would go hiking by herself. She loved the woods. She'll never go back in again. I asked her, nope. She won't even walk in close to the woods.
Well, do you take a dog in with you?
No. Nope.
That's interesting.
No dogs. Just me and the guys on my team.
All right. Human Carl, because we don't want to mix him up with Alien Carl. Human Carl, a great United States military veteran. Thank you, Human Carl, for your great service.
Thank you.
He is asking, what do you feel, Chris, about the possibility of the Sasquatch being interdimensional. Example, disappearing footprints.
Yeah, see, I can't say one way or the other because I've never experienced it. Like, I have nothing that I've experienced so far to lay claim to them being interdimensional. So I can only stay true to what I see, what evidence I gather, and so I can't answer that question because I've never experienced it or found. You find the one footprint, which is the crazy part, and then you don't find any more. It's always the one.
Do you ever notice that it's always a right foot?
Yeah, it's just crazy. There's just one print, and then there's no more. But yeah, I can't say anything about the interdimensional because I don't have any evidence based towards it. I mean, I can't steer people in the wrong direction without, I can only lay claim to what I've experienced.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, Joe has another question for you. Have you ever heard the hooting sounds?
The owl mimics?
Yes.
Yes, we have them on. I have them all on tape. I leave recorders in birdhouses. You guys ever want to leave a recorder out in the woods, get a bird feeder house, and then just slip the recorder right in there and hang it in the tree for the night? And we have strange robotic owl calls, and we've caught the whoops. We actually got owl calls and turkey calls at the same time, like at 2:00 in the morning, which was a pretty crazy recording. But yes, we've heard them before.
You got wild turkeys there?
Yep, we have turkeys here. Yep.
I remember when I was in Pennsylvania a number of years ago, I was standing on my buddy's patio and I started to hear the turkeys, and I was like, is there a turkey farm around here? He looks, he goes, turkey farm? He goes, dude, they're just in the forest. And that was the first time I ever heard wild turkeys.
Yeah, they sound just like the ones in the turkey farm.
That is true. It's amazing how similar they sound. Amazing.
Yep.
I know that sounds funny, but it's amazing. We have about 6.5 minutes here before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Our guest tonight is Christopher Reinhart. We're talking Sasquatch. Have you ever found traces of Dogman in your Sasquatch areas?
Yeah, no, I've never found prints or anything in my areas. Never anything that I would put with a dog. No, like scraped up trees, no claw marks, none of that.
How close to you is the closest encounter?
Dogman encounter?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. The only thing the only Dogman experience that I've had was, or could have been, was that dog whimpering noise being lured into the woods. But I know they're out there because, like I said, I've heard from the First Nations people that about them, and I never want to meet up with them because I've seen pictures of them that are oof. And I know a couple people up in upper state New York that have experience with them, and something that I don't ever want to run into.
Me either.
Ever.
Me either. I'm getting a little bit of feedback there for some reason. I don't know why, but that is something, like, for me, I'm the same way. I think I could handle almost anything. I would take aliens, like some reptilians, over Dogman. I don't know why. I totally would.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. I don't want to ever run into a Dogman.
No. Why do you think there's such a difference in personality between these Dogmen and the Sasquatch?
I think I don't know. I think the Sasquatch are defenders of the forest, or the guardians of the forest. And I think Dogmen are just bitter creatures. I mean, they just look bitter. They like to show their teeth, and they got the claws, and they just, I don't know. Lycans, werewolves, whatever you want to call them. But I think they battled the Sasquatch, or who knows. I think they're afraid of the Sasquatch.
I'd love to see that brawl.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That is one fight I want to see. Who do you think wins?
Well, I think the Sasquatch wins. Smarter. It's all about brains, not the brawn. I think Sasquatch could grab a, nice limb off a tree and whack him upside the head.
Oh, I knew there would be a foreign object. I see a big suplex. I see a camel clutch, for a tap out right there. That's what I see. Totally Iron Sheik style. Totally Iron Sheik style. Couple questions coming from our chat room. Northern Illinois Sasquatch is asking, have you ever found scat from this creature?
We have found scat in piles of 3. Again, the 3 stick thing. Bears do not do that together. They do not defecate. I can't even talk right now, but in the same place. So we have black bears here, and we have found some pretty big scat piles. And I have a friend that is a biologist, and I've shown him the pictures, and he can tell you that the bears do not do 3 piles right next to each other. And so could it be Sasquatch with the 3 of them? Could be. I have a geneticist on board now. We have a friend of the family, and she's a biologist. Well, she's actually the relative of the family, but she went to school with a professor at a university, and she's a geneticist. So she has grad students that will test for us.
Nice.
Which is pretty huge. So now we have DNA kits that we put in our backpacks when we go in the woods, and we can send them to her, and she's told me how to package them. And so, yeah, there's not a lot of that going on. So like I said, we're out to try to prove things. The picture thing, I guess we'll talk about that when we get back from break, about exposing them. But I think I would expose the DNA before I would expose a picture.
I don't think you're getting any further exposing a photo or a video over DNA. That's for sure.
So DNA proves it without you having to even see a picture of it.
All right. Quick question here. We got about a minute and a half. Miss Pickles is asking, if you build a Sasquatch sanctuary, will they come?
Well, I like to think that areas that we are in Sasquatch sanctuaries, we don't bring them any harm, and I don't know anybody else in there looking for them. So we get to experience them all the time. I think they're happy in what they do. I don't think most of the people that are out investigating them cause them any problems. They just want to experience the interactions and try and prove them. I mean, there's people out there I know that want to hunt them and shoot them, and I don't agree with that. I don't think it needs to be done, but other people think so, think that way. But we at Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch don't think that that's what it's going to take. But to each their own. I can't tell them what to do, and they don't hassle me, and I don't hassle them, so that's the way we leave it.
Well, we got you for another 30 minutes here on Spaced Out Radio, and I am loving this show, Christopher, and I want to say thank you for being an awesome guest so far. And when we come back, we'll take more audience questions, and we'll find out about the photograph and the smoking gun. I have a feeling you wouldn't release it. I don't think you would.
Nope, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't.
I just wouldn't want I wouldn't want the harassment.
The DNA I would do.
Absolutely. My friend, you hold on tight. You sit right there, because we're going to kick off hour number 3 when we come back from this break on Spaced Out Radio. It's going to be real cool because I love talking monsters. I love talking Bigfoot, Sasquatch. This is where we got to go in order to solve this creature. Let's make it happen when we come back. What are we looking for? If you had a photo or a video, would you go public with it? Lots of questions left for Christopher Reinhardt on Spaced Out Radio, and Hour 3 comes up next. All right, mate. I'm going to just quickly run my dogs out again. I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna run my dog up
To
to the
do.
bathroom, too.
Why
All right,
not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spicing up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day.
All right, my friend, I'm back.
All right.
All right. And
how am I doing? All right.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic, man.
Think people like it, or?
Oh, they're enjoying it. I could tell.
All right, cool.
We got 168 people watching live on YouTube right now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Hi, gorgeous Wendy Williams. How are you? Yeah. I didn't want to tell you that. We topped out about 178 or somewhere around there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Been a good night. Been a good night. Let's see here. Where are we? Pop out. Yeah, 178. A lot of people drift off going into hour 3 because they go to bed, unlike the rest of us. The beautiful Bobby Yancey is saying that she is really enjoying the show.
Nice. Thank you.
Yes. I'm going to quickly mention that this show is sponsored by Mighty Moose Beard Oil. Gary the Dutchman sets me up. I'm using the True North blend right here. Real nice, real easy. Not just for men. Put it in your hand, rub it together, and just massage it in. That's all you do. Just like that. Hey, Ben at UFO Garage, how you doing? Massage it in. That's how you do the beard oil, people. Just like that. And for the ladies, you can use it in your hair. It's all natural, no chemicals. Helps with split ends. That's how I keep my hair nice and smooth and looking lovely and talented. Go to Mighty Moose Beard Oil or MightyMooseBeard.com. Use promo code SOR2019. Gary the Dutchman is going to take good care of you. Big thank you to Grendel, Cat Chaser, Vinster, Brett Lewis, TH, Dirty Fylth, Wagon Breath ×3, and Dave Woj for the amazing super chats tonight. We absolutely love you. Here comes hour number 3.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate earning your listening ears. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam is set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Gramalog. Gramalog is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce Christopher Reinhardt. He is the head of Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch in the beautiful state of Connecticut, and we're talking about this incredible creature all night long. Christopher, welcome back.
Oh, glad to be back.
What do you want out of this creature? Do you want that person? I know everybody wants the evidence. We all say, well, I want to prove the existence of Sasquatch. But on a personal level, what do you want with this?
Oh, I just want to continue with the interactions and see how far it can go. Like I said, I want that, if it's not for the world, but for me, that moment where you're looking eye to eye with the thing that you've been chasing around the woods for 10, 15, 20 years. I want that more than anything.
What would it mean to you to have that close encounter, personal interaction where you get the, within feet of this thing?
Yeah, I would. That's what I want. I wanted to. If you ever read the book Enoch?
Many have.
About the skunk ape. He had the skunk ape sitting down at the fire with him eating. Now, how cool would that be by a campfire at your area that you've been researching? Say you're researching an area for 20 years. And all of a sudden you can go to that area every time, and the Sasquatch will come out of the woods, and they'll come down to that campfire and sit there and maybe eat a peanut butter sandwich, would you? And then they'll stick around for 15 minutes and go. How cool would that be? I wouldn't care if the whole world didn't know. If I was experiencing that, that would be the coolest. That would be it. That's end game for me. If that happens, end game. I don't need to go any further than that.
You want a selfie with that too?
Yeah, sure. Sure. But I wouldn't need to go. That would just be could you imagine that? every time you go camping at that spot, they would come down and sit down, have dinner with you, and then they'd go about their way. That would be the ultimate.
No, I think it would be great too. I think it would be great too to have that personal interaction and encounter. We talked a little bit right in the last half hour about if you had that smoking gun piece of evidence, and we really didn't get into it. Why would you not release it to the public if you had that photo?
Because I don't know. I just don't think the photo is going to do it. I mean, sure, if you get that, like I said earlier in the show, you get that 30-yard shot, that's going to be great. But I think it's just going to cause more problems for you if you released it. Like I said, I'm more about the DNA. I would release the DNA, say, hey, we found DNA of the missing link. We found DNA of a hybrid whatever in the middle of the woods. And that's something they can't argue with. People can argue that picture is fake, it's a hoax, it's a suit, it's a this. You can't argue with the DNA. So,
but for you personally, if you had that video or photograph, would you not release it due to the fact? And I'm going on my personal thoughts here. Okay, would you release it or not release it due to the harassment that you would get on social media? I mean, you look at Roger Patterson. I mean, 50 plus years later, he is still being ridiculed for the video. There are still people who are verbally abusive to him, calling him a fake, a fraud, everything under the sun, all because he caught a video of a Sasquatch.
Right, and didn't become a millionaire from it either, did he?
No.
So what has he got to prove? What is he trying to prove? All he's doing is sharing. He's sharing his findings. I mean, he's just sharing. That's what I don't understand. I just don't understand these people. They hammer on them for sharing their experience with them. You know what I mean? They're not out. I don't know. He's not out looking for any praise. He's like one of the most down to earth people, to date, and it's just I don't get it. So if like I said earlier in the show, I want to get that 30-yard picture, and I guess I have to wait till the opportunity comes to whether I would release it or not.
I vote no. That's just my vote.
Yep, I probably would.
Stetson John is saying many good people get reincarnated into Bigfoot, and all the prickly people come back as Dogman. If we want to get into the woo a little bit, I know it's a joking question on his part because he's really into the science stuff.
Yeah, I'm really into the science stuff too. But if he's out there in the woods and he's researching them, he's got to know that the strange is out there. There's definitely something in the woods that's not right.
Do we pay enough attention to the strange that is happening?
Well, yeah, see, like I said, when I got off track and you saved me from the orb stuff, like I said, if you're out in the woods and you're looking for aliens and all this stuff is happening, what are you going to say is doing it? You're going to say aliens are doing it. If you're out in the woods looking for the Mothman and the orbs are there and the strange stuff is happening, what are you going to say is doing it? The Mothman. So if you're out looking for Bigfoot and all of a sudden these orbs are popping up and this strange stuff is happening, of course you're going to put one and one together and you're going to think that it's the Bigfoot. So it's hard enough to prove one thing. Try to prove the two that are connected together is just adding more fuel to the fire.
All right. Big question coming from Tommy here, because we ask every guest this. Usually we ask it during the break, but since I didn't get to it, I'll ask it now. What's your opinion of eating breakfast foods for dinner?
Breakfast? Well, I love pancakes for supper. So that's a yes.
Here, I thought you were a good guy.
Well, you don't eat pancakes for breakfast?
It's a breakfast food for a reason.
I got 2 grandkids.
I understand that. Right? But breakfast foods are for a reason. That's why they're titled breakfast foods.
All right. Well, we won't get into that argument. How's that?
Apparently I'm like one of like 17 people in North America who agrees with me. But it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I know. All right, let's move on here. Minister Elaine is asking, why do you think, Christopher, that there are never any bodies found of Bigfoot?
I think it's like I said, they're organized, and I think just like us, when we die, we have certain rituals, you want to say it, that we go through and we do. I think they do the same, but they hide theirs. I think they're deep in caves, or they're burnt, or they're buried. Yeah, it's just the way they do it. It's just, they pick up their dead, they bring them to an area, and they bury them one way or the other. That's how I think they do it.
Do you think we'll ever stumble across even skeletal bones?
I think they're in caves. I think they're deep in caves. I think these guys are underground. So maybe a splunker will come across them one day. There's those guys. There's some splunkers that'll go miles and miles into the earth. Not me, but who knows? I think that's the best chance we have, is a splunker finding bones in a cave, because that's where I think they bring them. But of course, I don't have evidence to back that up, so that's just a IMO.
Interesting. Do you think that, nature is very good at cleaning up after itself? Do you think that a lot of these bones are eaten by animals like wolves or coyotes or any other type of predator trying to get the marrow out?
See, in the Sasquatch areas, you don't see wildlife, at least here. So I think if one passed away and it was laying on the ground, I do not see predators coming in and doing anything to them. Like I said, the forest turns off when they're around. You don't see squirrels, you don't see the birds, you don't see anything. They're gone. At least here. I don't know. I'm sure. I hope maybe other people. If anybody has experienced anything that I have, please get a hold of me one way or the other, because I love to talk and compare notes all the time. Yeah, I just don't see animals touching them.
So this leads to Northern Illinois Sasquatch's question. What are your thoughts then about Dr. Melba Ketchum's DNA study?
I think she's doing it professionally. I think all the reports look like they're supposed to look. I'm not a geneticist, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. But I think she put her career on the line for this. I mean, why would you put your career on the line for something that you didn't believe in and didn't have the proof for? So I'm behind. I say, I don't know. I would say that I'm not a geneticist and I don't know what results mean or any of that. But if she's a geneticist, and I know she's a geneticist, and she takes it very seriously, so I guess, yeah, I would say the results that she's getting have to be true. I mean, there's people that are standing behind her with their careers on the line too. So I think she's on to something. I think they found something.
You have heard and researched a number of amazing encounters with this creature. Outside of your own, is there one or two encounters that you could tell us that really stood out to you?
I've heard so many. Yeah. I listen to the Chronicles all the time, and there's I can't remember their names, but Yeah, you stumped me on this one.
Well, how about from people in your area?
From people here, Brian, he actually has a great interaction here at the camp that he used to go to. And then there's a story of the Winchester Wild Man. Back in 1895, the town here that I live in, the mayor of the town was out picking blackberries, and one jumped out of the bushes at him, and he was with his bulldog, scared the hell out of him. And then the next day in the paper, they said it was a lunatic that escaped from the Litchfield Sanatorium. So even back in 1895, they were trying to cover up the Sasquatch. So that's a pretty cool story from where I'm at. Not too many people talk about it here in New England. They don't talk about their interactions with the Sasquatch here. It's hard. I've tried numerous times to get people to contact me, to even get me out on their property, and I've had 2 that have gotten a hold of me. So, but I've heard a lot of good stories.
How do you take those stories and turn them into research?
I look for the patterns. There's always patterns in everybody's story. You know, you tell people one thing and then they're like, I'll give an example. I've heard barn animal noises in the woods before while out looking for Sasquatch. Never ever heard anybody else talk about it before. Then all of a sudden I was on in a group, I don't know, a couple months ago, and there was a woman in there talking about how they were hearing donkey noises and cow noises in the middle of the woods, and there's no farms there. I'm like, oh my God, that person's hearing the same thing that I'm hearing. So, you know, you write that down next to yours, so-and-so and so-and-so, and then you keep on going down that line and look for other people that have the same stuff that's going on in your area, and then you put one and one together, and it's all data and evidence, and it's just too much in common. Too much common in in North America, not to say that this is not real. There's too many people that see the same thing. There's too many people that hear the same thing. They're 100% real. And if people look at the data and listen to the stories and listen to the eyewitness encounters, how could you doubt it? I just don't understand how people can doubt that they're not real. I just don't get it. That's frustrating.
No, I can see where it would be frustrating in trying to, prove the existence. Do you ever get tired of arguing about it, from the skeptics or the critics out there?
I used to get bent out of shape at the beginning. When I first started, I was like, oh, well, who is this guy hammering on me? And then I just, it's not worth it. I know what I'm experiencing in the forest. I know what my friends are experiencing in the forest. And if this guy wants to hammer me for it, come down here and you can come with me and you can experience it in the forest. It's jealousy because, in my book, because you're getting interaction and they're not having interactions. So, of course, they're not going to agree with what's going on. The way I see it.
But there's such a difference between. Why do you think the skeptics of this creature get so angry? They seem to, they get angry and then they start with the cheap shots. Why do you think that's the way it goes? And it's not just in the cryptid world, but it's also in UFOs and ghosts as well.
Right, it's because they're not getting the interactions. They're not experiencing it. So they're getting mad because they're out there researching it and they're getting nothing. You're getting something, you're reporting it, and they're like, oh, baloney, that doesn't happen. That can't happen. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? It is happening. And it's right on my recorder, and it's right on my camcorder, and it's right there for you to see and for you to hear. And if you don't agree with it and you don't hear what I'm hearing or you don't see what I'm seeing, just go away. Just go away. And in the beginning, like I said, it bothered me to no end, to where I almost gave it up. But I worked too hard to get to where I'm at right now with this whole thing, and I'm not giving up. I love to travel. I love to meet new people. I love to talk to other people. I want to experience it all. Like I said, I'm going to the Florida Swamp next year or this next month. I've been to Colorado. I've had interactions in Colorado. I've been to Missouri. I've had interactions in Missouri. I've been up to Massachusetts. I've had interactions in Massachusetts. It's just, I won't give up no matter what anybody says. And I think I'm talking in circles right now, but that's just how I feel.
But you have a passion, and I think that's a real cool thing, is to have that passion and that desire, because you have things to prove to yourself. And the one thing that I actually admire about the way you're researching is that you're not doing it for anybody else. You're not trying to prove to the world like other people who think that they're going to get that $1 million paycheck from television or some university by the proof of Sasquatch. I think you're doing a real job, man, and I think that's admirable.
No, thank you. I would love, my ultimate goal is to bring some of the outside world in, to make them see it. That would be that would be awesome. Just if I could touch a few people to turn their heads and say, well, maybe this guy's really, he's really telling us what's going on out there. Maybe there is something in the woods. That would be awesome. I love that. I would feel that my research or my investigations meant something, that I left behind. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I think that's admirable. I really do. As we have about just over 2 minutes left with you on Spaced Out Radio tonight, as you go forward, what's your year look like? How often are you in the bush?
I am in the bush as often as I can get. The snow has just melted here. I have learned in the last 5 years to stay out of the woods in the wintertime because it's cold, and they are not out in the cold. They come around once a month. That's about it. So I leave them alone in the winter. I'm going to Florida in April, and then when we get back from Florida, we are going to hit the woods hard here. Probably three to four times a week we're in the woods. So we're full time in the woods, and all year until the snow flies again. And hopefully make it to the Pacific Northwest later in the year.
Quickly here, Nikki is wondering if you've ever had telepathic communication with Sasquatch.
I have never experienced anything that I know of, or unless you call that the voices that you hear while you're out in the woods, I don't know. But I can't. I guess I'd have to answer that a no.
Not a problem. Do me a favor. Take a minute here to tell everybody where they can find your YouTube channel, Facebook, and other social media.
Okay, so my YouTube channel right now is called Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch, but within the next 2 weeks, I am changing it it'll be called Discover Sasquatch. I'm revamping everything. Where you're switching over, I will actually have a podcast that's going to be called Discover Sasquatch, and that'll be in like 3 weeks. I'm on Instagram on Squatchography. We also do wildlife photography and stuff like that. We do reviews on cameras and all that. And then my Facebook group is called Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch. It's actually a private group, but you guys are friends of the show, so if I see you on there tomorrow, I will let you all in to be members.
Beautiful. Chris Reinhardt from Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch. Want to say a big thank you to you coming on Spaced Out Radio, sharing your stories and the way you're researching. Man, keep up the great work. I think you're doing well. Thank you for coming on with the show with us.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me, and thank you everybody for sticking around and listening to me. Sorry if I started talking in circles at the end.
Oh, you were great. You were great. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio takes it home next. That was a great show, dude.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You have fun?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Like I said, this is probably the biggest audience I've talked to so far. So.
Well, you know what? You did well. You did well, and thank you for being real and candid, man. That's what we ask, and that's what you delivered, and I think that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, brother. We'll let you go and let you get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a hold of Snow White for you, and
please do.
Do you want me to text it to you, or do you want me to email it to you? How do you want?
Email it. I'll send Corrence the booking guy's email right here.
Okay.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. There we go. I've sent you Corrence's email there on Skype. So just send that to her and or send Corey her email and phone number, and we can line that up.
All right. I will definitely get a hold of her tomorrow and let you know.
Appreciate that, brother. You take care, okay?
All right. Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. You know what I enjoyed about Christopher is just how real of a guy he was. You know, he wasn't trying to be a know-it-all. He wasn't trying to be someone who was trying to command that he's the person who really is trying to be the top dog in the field. No, he's doing it for himself. He's got his own questions, and that's how he is looking. He has an opinion of what the creature is, but he's not pushing it on anybody. And he's open that if there is something different or supernatural about it, he's going to run with it. I think he's doing it the right way. And we need more of those Nate Rudds and Gary Spikes and Dukes and Christophers out there. I think that's how we're going to solve the mystery of this creature, is by those guys and ladies out there who are doing the proper work the proper way, and not out there for ego, and not out there for trying to make a name for themselves. That's the way I look at it. Oh, excuse me. Now, you guys may think I'm totally wrong on that, but that's the way it is. Hello, gorgeous Emily Bigelow, a.k.a. Alaska's greatest athlete. Miss Pickles. Oh, Miss Pickles. How are ye? Terrible Times, how are you? Are you on the square? Are you on the level? Are you ready to stand right here, right now, before your Davo? That you're on the square, that you're on the level, that you're ready to stand right here, right now. 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 That's all for you, Square Hammer. All for you. Hey. Yeah, you did, Gary Spikes. By the way, dude, I'm still tripping over your story, man. Still tripping over your story. Thank you, Paul Holland. How you doing, man? Yeah, Gary Spikes Jr., man. I was telling a couple of people at work about you today, and they were like, no kidding. And I'm like, yeah, dude, this guy is real deal. Hey, Square Hammer, you didn't think that I would actually get that the first time you came into the chat room. Oh, you're loving the beard. Bomber, I can promise you this. When we do the Vegas party, I will let you touch the beard. I will let you touch the beard. Same as you, Pickles. We must partake in making money. Absolutely. Money is good. You know that saying that money doesn't buy happiness? Oh, what's Chris want here? Hold on. Are you pocket dialing me? Must be. We'll turn that down just in case that happens again. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying there. Here we go. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I want to remind you that if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news. Oh, let's do this thing, shall we? The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the absurd. Well, get this. Have you seen this new online art that is selling for millions? Yeah, a piece of digital artwork just sold for $69 million at Christie's. Mike Winkleman, the digital artist known as Beeple, is now among the top 3 most valuable living artists. A computer file created by Winkleman, the digital artist known as Beeple, was sold for $69.3 million, becoming the highest selling piece of digital art ever. The piece, Every Days, the first 5,000 days, is made up of digital images 39-year-old Winkleman created every day from May 1st, 2007 to January 7th, 2021. Christie's describes the final piece as a collage of abstract, fantastical, grotesque, and absurd pictures. The comments on current events and personal moments on Winkleman's website and Instagram page, where he has nearly 2 million followers. He shares countless images showing pop culture and political figures in surreal and lewd situations. One piece shows giant-sized piglets drinking milk from an even bigger piglet whose head resembles Toy Story character Buzz Lightyear. That picture, posted with the caption "Supply and Demand," has more than 50,000 likes on Instagram. I almost look at it now like I'm a political cartoonist, Winkleman, a graphic designer and motion artist from South Carolina, told the auction house, except instead of doing sketches, I use the most advanced 3D tools to make comments on current events almost in real time. Bidding on Every Days began 2 weeks ago, starting at just $100. As bidding was set to close Thursday, it seemed this piece would sell for less than $30 million. But a series of last-minute bids more than doubled that amount. After the auction, Winkleman is now among the top 3 most valuable living artists. The other artists include Jeff Koons and David Hockney. The sale of Winkleman's digital piece was made possible by non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. An NFT, if you don't know, is best thought of as a unique certificate of authenticity for virtual files. When someone is given this certificate, it is stored on an artwork or a network now known as a blockchain, which publicly verifies and tracks the item's ownership. That means while someone online could screenshot or save the item or artwork, only the person with the NFT of the item could say they own it. How weird. The next digital step is here. Imagine seeing this news story after making $300 from your yard sale. Yeah. You know those people who can go to a garage sale or a thrift store and literally they find these bargains that are worth a lot more? Check this one out. It happened in Connecticut. a state where you expect yard sales to contain prices or priceless Chinese relics. Here, it's a white ceramic bowl with blue flowers. It's hard to fault the person who sold it. The style is one that cheap manufacturers have knocked off for the past hundreds of years. There's no quantitative test to prove the bowl is from the 1400s. It just takes a skilled eye. What the chances are of seeing that, though? Very slim. The buyer, who paid the full asking price of $35 for the bowl, remaining anonymous. However, the Chinese Works of Art department at Sotheby's says that they identified this bowl being worth $500,000. The style of painting, the shape of the bowl, even just the color of the blue, is quite characteristic of the early 15th century period of porcelain, said Angela McAteer, the president and head of the department. It survived 600 years just to end up in a yard sale. The bowl is from the early Ming period, based upon the glaze's silkiness, the distinctive designs, and the color. But again, it was understandable that someone that just assumed that it was a home goods chakoti, or whatever they call it. Tchotchke? Would that be it? Tchotchke? I think that's it. The style came about under the third ruler of the Ming period, the Yongle court, when new porcelain kilns came into the scene. The bowl is in the shape of either a lotus flower or a chicken heart. It seems like there should have been an obvious difference between the two. There are only 6 of these kinds of bowls in the world, most in museums, and none in the United States. McAteer guessed the Connecticut family passed down the bowl through generations. At some point, the priceless artifact became a bit forgotten. Then someone annoyed with grandmother's clutter decided it was time to Marie Kondo the Ming relic into the yard and sell it for $35. Never worth buying miracle cures. You never know where it is or what it's made from. Black markets are a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, they can help people living under oppressive regimes to buy even the basic necessities of life. On the other hand, they are often trade routes for illegal or otherwise shady goods. That also means many times the thing you get is really not what you thought you were buying, and that's just the case here in India and potentially elsewhere in Asia. Severed penises from endangered monitor lizards are being sold as mystical roots from the Himalayas. The root is known as Hatha Jodi, which translates roughly to a pair of palms. The name stems from the appearance of the two-pronged lizard penis. Unscrupulous traders, most would-be astrologers, are selling the penis root for $14 to $40 a pop. Their target market are superstitious locals who often anoint their purchase with vermilion and keep it on their home altar. According to local beliefs, the miracle plant root, which will bring its owner fortune and material wealth, it can supposedly help win lawsuits and even attract romantic partners. Of course, the penises don't do any of that. Even if there was a magic plant with all of those powers, these people wouldn't benefit from it. After all, they unknowingly bought a cut-off lizard dong. Unfortunately for the monitor lizards, their penises get unwanted attention for more than just a magic trinket salesman. According to Jose Luis, head of the Wildlife Crime Control Division of Wildlife Trust of India, there's a whole poaching industry centered around these endangered lizards. What penises aren't sold off are as withered roots and instead peddled off as an aphrodisiac. The poachers either boil them like any other meat or dry them and grind them into a powder for later consumption. But it's not just the lizard sex organs the poachers are after. Every part of the reptiles can be exchanged for money. The lizard meat is sought after as a delicacy. Many restaurants along Indian highways reportedly purchase this illegal bushman at a whopping $20 per pound. It is so popular that when the restaurants can't get enough actual meat, they resort to using substitutes. An anonymous informant in the lizard trade says that some eateries sell cooked cattle tails as monitor lizard meat. It's a meat of deceit, wrapped in lies, lightly sautéed in trickery, and served with a side dish of animal cruelty. Come on, give the lizards their penises back. That's all we want. When do we want it? Now. Let's do it. This Pennsylvania church is in a little hot water right now. Why? Well, 56-year-old Glenn Yothers faces theft charges after being accused of stealing more than $150,000 from St. Paul Lutheran Church in Unity Township. Why? Oh, that's because he's addicted to the porno. Yes, churchman addicted to the porno. The others allegedly claimed the money was going toward paying church bills and being donated to charity, but instead he donated it to his own porno charity. He insisted being accused of using the dough to gawk at pornographic websites over a 4-year period leading up to 2019. Obviously, this guy has never heard of the free stuff on Pornhub. The naughty diversion of church funds left St. Paul Lutheran close to being shut down as utilities weren't paid, according to court documents. One of the red flags that popped up were bills being stopped paying by the church, said Trooper Steve Limiani. None of this was going to charity for a dozen years. Told authorities he got addicted to the sex sites before he was charged with theft by deception and theft by unlawful. Oh, this poor guy. Poor guy. You know, somebody help him out. Get him some Pornhub. You know, get him some adult friend finder or whatever those sites are. All right. This guy, we can help him out. We can help him out. The Pentagon has signed 2 contracts worth a combined $159 million with SpaceX to launch special spacecraft for the U.S. military by the end of 2023, the Defense Department announced. SpaceX received 2 individual fixed-price orders totaling $159,721,445 under the Phase 2 Homeland Security Space Launch contract. The launch will take place in Centennial, Colorado, and at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Contracts will be financed annually and at a fixed cost. In October 2020, the Pentagon signed 2 agreements with Musk's company to research and develop an orbital transport capable of sending military loads in urgent situations or detecting launches. The rich just keep getting rich. Where do you think he's going to put that? You know, Elon's worth a couple billion now. You think he just kind of tucks that $159 million in his, jacket pocket? I don't know. Here's a cool story. A research vessel launched this week is on an urgent mission to map out damage from a long overlooked crisis on the ocean floor, and they're putting robots down there to help. In October, people living on Santa Catalina Island, which sits 22 miles off the coast of Southern California and lots of great white sharks around it, were shocked to learn from a LA Times investigation that a scientist had found leaking barrels of dangerous waste strewn across the ocean floor. Residents had heard rumors that the nation's largest DDT manufacturer, which was based in LA until 1982, had disposed of some of its waste product near the island, and a huge Superfund lawsuit in 2000 had confirmed the company had disposed waste into sewers that ran into the ocean. But records unearthed by the Times confirmed that the manufacturer had filled up a ship with barrels of DDT-tainted waste and dumped it off the coast once a month for almost 40 years, something unaddressed in the Superfund lawsuit. Wow. Now, if DDT sounds familiar to you, it's because it's the subject of a book that many credit with starting the environmental movement. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, published in 1962 with DDT as its villain, and the book kicked off a national conversation about how pesticides impact the environment. Following the outcry, DDT was banned in the U.S. in the mid-1970s. While it was popular pesticides for a few decades, there were good reasons DDT was banned. The moderately toxic substance could work its way up the food chain and had been linked to a host of health problems in humans and animals. But now they're worried about the marine environment, so they're sending down these robots to basically act like Roombas on the ocean floor. They're underwater Roombas. Very cute. These tiny little buddies are tricked out with sonar equipment that will help them collect data from the ocean floor. Suddenly, your robotic vacuum is looking a little less cool, but their job is to help survey the area of potential toxic waste. That'll happen within the next couple of weeks. Police investigating stolen car parts in Washington were able to close a different case when they found a 400-pound slide that had been stolen from a playground. Pasco Police Department said last month officials found the missing slide mounted to a bunk bed in a child's room in Burbank, Washington. Police had search warrants to look for stolen catalytic converters, which are part of the vehicle's exhaust system. During the search, Detective Julie Lee recognized the slide as the one that had been stolen from Pasco City Park in December, even though the top had been cut off and it was painted blue. The city's Parks and Rec department has recovered the slide. It's unclear how the slide got from the park to the mobile home where it was found, but the child's father has been charged with possession of stolen property. Police spokesperson Sergeant Rigo Praneda has said that there has been an increase of catalytic converter thefts over the past 6 months because the parts are easy to cut away from a car or truck. They can be sold as scrap metal. Police did find catalytic converters during the search, but no one has been charged in connection with them. Oh, this is a good-looking pigeon. Winged rats got a makeover. Yep, internet denizens have been obsessed with a bird being dubbed Hot Pigeon for having a similar build to New York City's favorite vermin, but far brighter, more colors than ever. Have you seen such a beautiful pigeon? Writer and comedian Shelby Lorman tweeted on Monday, alongside a photo what looks to be a pigeon that's been dipped in all sorts of paint colors, but perfectly blended about its body. Now the viral tweet and its following thread are pretty much pidgey pics and captions. I'm mesmerized. Pink pigeon or pink-necked green pigeon, so handsome. So, who is this good-looking fowl? Well, science writer Rosemary Moscow, who is currently writing a book on pigeons, explains that the viral photo of a magical rainbow pigeon is, in fact, an image of a pink-necked green pigeon, formerly known as a Treron vernons. Folks are asking me about this viral photo. Is it a pigeon or a dove? And the answer is yes. It's actually a gorgeous bird. Like, it's got bright pink feet, green underbelly, which blends into yellow and orange, into a purple neck and a blue face. The wings are green with yellow tips. The tail is purple-green with an underneath of red. It is actually a gorgeous, gorgeous bird. Pigeons and doves both belong to a scientific family called Colymbidae and have no real taxonomic differences. The reason Treron vernons, which are natives to the southeastern Asia, are so stunning, and New York City pigeons are often more compared to flying rodents, is due to the fact that the urban rock pigeons are ferals descended from domesticated pets. Pets, I tell you. All right, I think we got time for one more here. A pair of alumni and a student at Virginia's University of Mary Washington are attempting to obtain a Guinness World Record for brewing the world's spiciest beer. Ray Parrish, who obtained his degree in physics from the university in 1991, is now co-owner of the Maltese Brewing Company in Fredericksburg, which produces Signal 1 2.0 beer, a pineapple IPA infused. Of course, it's a IPA. Why can't any of these small microbreweries brew a lager anymore? It's always IPA. With 500 Carolina... Whoa, hold on. With 500 Carolina Reaper chilies. Oh, that's warm. Parrish said he discovered Guinness World Records does not currently have a record for the world's spiciest beer, so he decided to originate the record by measuring Signal 1 2.0's heat, but he needed help. The brewery reached out to Sarah Smith, a 2012 graduate who is now a visiting professor at UMW's Department of Chemistry and Physics. Smith brought junior biochemistry major Valerie Abenki onto the team. The trio said that they are using the Scoville Heat Index. Yes, that's what we love to hear. Now we're getting some serious realness to this. A unit of measurement that calculates chili heat and attempting to determine the brew's concentration of that heat-inducing chemicals, capsaicin, and dihydrocapsaicin, by the way, helps your lungs for certain diseases that are out there. It cleans your lungs, capsaicin does. Anyways, the researchers say their findings will be submitted to Guinness in mid-March, and they expect to hear within a few months whether the IPA is indeed the world's spiciest beer. Thought of the Knave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Knave is as follows. Have some fun here. What is your theme song when going out monster hunting? Angela, Adam's Family is playing in my head right now. John, Teddy Bear's Picnic. God of Thunder, who's a Kiss freak. God of Thunder. Who else? Joseph. Red Faction by Mel. If you can hear it, you can't say that it's not a perfect hunting tracking song. Gorgeous Jewels, Monster Mash. Uncle Gravity, Little Monster by Royal Blood. Jeremy, Pink Floyd, Us and Them. Nick, Roger Waters, Us and Them as well. Thank you, Nick Madrid, Spain, or Madrid, Spain. Andrew wants to hear the Monster Mash. Christopher Jarvis, Nowhere to Run, Martha and the Vandellas. Gail, Every Breath You Take by the Police. Really? Where the hell do you get that one, Captain Shirk? Witchy Woman for Kimberly. Amber, The Simple Plan cover of the Scooby-Doo's theme song. Dandy down in South Africa. Come, little ones, don't be afraid, join the others. Olaf, welcome to the jungle, baby. You're gonna die! Absolutely. Tim, Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. Lori, The Rodeo Song, dealing with some in the field for not being able to think outside the box. Gary, Paloma Blanca. Eric Cooper, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by Drowning Pool. Mike, Thriller. Jason, Don't Fear the Reaper. I want to play the cowbell on that one. Joe's Main, Rye Cooter, Southern Comfort. Kevin, the theme song to the TV show Green Acres. Dan, playing taps. Daryl wants more Monster Mash. Lisa wants Ghostbusters, because who are you going to call? Cherie, Total Monster Mash. Bang on, I can see myself humming it as I creep through the bush. And finally, Scott gets the final word. AC/DC's Hell's Bells. Oh, yeah. That's some good tunes right there. Thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again very, very soon. Thank you to Captain Shirk for a wonderful SOR Newswire, and to Christopher Reinhardt for coming on from Berkshire Mountain Sasquatch for his incredible interview tonight. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone checking us out on our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together, my friends, Nicole, say it with me. We're watching. We own the night, Mr. Bumblefoot. We need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But tomorrow, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. That was awesome. That was a great show. That's good stuff right there, people. Nicole, very strong on the We Own the Night there right at the end. Very strong. You really had a good game plan going into that one, considering we caught you off guard with it. Very proud of you. Very proud. Hi, gorgeous Teresa. How are you? Mm-hmm. 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 All right, let's download this sucker. That was fun, man. Great show. Thank you, Rich Hilke. Thank you. Katie. What is your picture of, Katie? Hi, gorgeous Teresa. Thomas G, thank you for tuning on in from Northern Maine. Let's see you in here a little bit more often, man. Thank you, the Michael Leger. The Michael Leger. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Good night, Jenny. We love you. All right. That was friggin' cool. That was a good show. Good show. Oh, Rich, I don't know which part. She kept it secret. Thanks, Duke. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sinister. Appreciate you, man. 119 people still watching. Come on into our chat room. Say hello. Tell us where you're from. We love to learn where our listeners are tuning on in from. That'd be really cool. That would be really cool. Uh-huh. I think we're starting right about there. Yeah, polar eclipse. Ask away. Well, a good way to kick off your weekend then, Paul Holland. Eva from San Diego. Eva. We love Eva around here. Hello, Miss Pickles. Tonight was a good show. Tonight was a really good show. Excuse me. Where's our... There. That's it. Second. When are you going to come out with your own line of Sasquatch jerky? I have no idea, dude. No idea. I have no idea. That is funny, though. My dogs are upstairs right now. They're sleeping. My one dog usually doesn't come down at night because he sleeps in my boy's bedroom while my son sleeps. So it's kind of his spot. He feels like it's his job to guard my boy, which is really cool. Doug hasn't, the other dog hasn't really been into the whole work schedule lately. Hey, thank you, Steam Train Mark. Appreciate it. Katie, I have a German Shepherd and a German Shepherd cross. Joe, you're in Ireland. I did not know this. Good morning to you. Hey, Alan Young, how you doing, buddy? Where's the Great Smoky Mountains? Just out of curiosity. Got to remember, man, I'm Canadian. I think one of these days I should take a night off and let Nicole Sackich host the show. What do you think, Nicole? You going to give me a night off? You can host? But I really don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. I think there's something supernatural about it. I have no proof. That's just a gut feeling. What do you think, Nicole? Could you handle it? Give me a night off. I'll produce it. I'll just sit here and listen. I'll play in the chat room. Babster, you're looking beautiful tonight, by the way. Looking beautiful. Now I'm going to give you a tough guess, Nicole. I'm going to give you a tough guess like Grant Cameron. Oh, Nicole Sackich at NicoleSackich.com. Don't worry, that's not her email. I may do that. I may spring that up. We'll maybe plan that. We'll maybe plan that. Good night, Miss Pickles. Have a lovely sleep. I'd give you some hair, Fap. I'd lend you some. I'd even lend you one of the beards here in the studio, buddy. Nicole, if you want to do our Keith, you got to keep up to pace in the chat room. That's what you would have to do. $48-hour YouTube show. Oh my God, that would kill me. I got some guitars here. Here's one of them. Oh, I love this one. This is my daughter's. Miss Pickles, I thought you were gone. I got this one too. My favorite. I have to get this one restrung, but that's my favorite. Still my favorite. No, that's a court. Beehive Chuckles, what's going on? Very cool, Alan Young. Where is Shinny Ray? I know it's Shiny Ray, but it's so much more fun to say Shinny Ray. All right. Yes. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, son of a... Oh, I forgot to create these up here. 3, 1, 1. Phew! Good tight. There, close that, that. 2 seconds here, people. Hey, Randy Spurl, how you doing? Good night, Katie. We'll see you soon. Hopefully, not a few years again. You are a little bit late, Randy Spurl, but that's okay. That still works for us. My God, Miss Pickles, that was like a Friday and Saturday night in my early 20s. Have a good night, the Michael Leger. I'm just impressed that you know how to spell didgeridoo. That's actually kind of funny, Chuckles. Randy, I did not hear that. Dave does not love the term Squatch. He hates the term. I'm going to be totally blunt with you guys. Have a good night, Thomas G. Thank you for joining us, man. Really appreciate that. Oh. I know you are, Mala. I know you are. Good night, gorgeous Teresa. Alan Young, you're getting ready for work right now? What do you do? I'm getting tired as well. Totally tired. That out here. Drop this in here. Oh, wrong one. Upload. No. Oh, okay, cool. Randy, Dave, what do you think Sasquatch does in the winter months? I would say it's pretty lonely. I think it hibernates a little bit, but still gets out to go for food. I mean, there's a lot of Sasquatch tracks that are seen in the snow, so that really doesn't surprise me. Oh, I found a nickel today, Eva. Found a nickel. Pretty happy with that. Excuse me. $12.29. Those done? Well, they were. Holy cow, I thought I closed those off for no reason. Very cool. I don't recall closing those windows. Then again, maybe I did. Thank you for being a good lady, Miss Pickles. Oh, my stomach just growled. Not even hungry. No kidding, Randy. That's kind of freaky. I will never change the Squatch policy, Beehive. You can go to other shows that could squatch around. Why isn't this uploading? Where is it? Where is the damn thing? Upload folders. How is it? Upload. Don't quite understand that. right. Well, that's kind of cool. Do, 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 do. Do, do. No. Sorry, Chuck. There will be none. And I will continue to do my best to banish that friggin' word from the Sasquatch community. We're not squatchy pooing here or squatchy pooing there. We're not going to poop anywhere. That's okay. I'm not American. Dazzling pickles. Dazzling pickles. All right, so we're uploaded there. Now we can share this. There. Share. Now we're done. All right, everyone. I'm going to say goodnight to all of you guys. Because I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Thank you to everyone who super chatted us tonight. Grendel, Cat Chaser, Vinny, Brett, TH, Dirty Filth, Wagon Breath, and Dave Wadge. Really appreciate the love that all of you have. And we'll do it tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's guest is, what's her name? I'll get it for you. Tomorrow night is Kitsy Duncan. We're talking paranormal tomorrow night. Lots of woo tomorrow night on the show. So be prepared. We're going to take the last train to Woosville to end the week up. And it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot cool. So make sure you tune on in, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. I'll be here. And thank you to everyone who hit that subscribe button. Thank you to everyone who give us a thumbs up, the thumbs down. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Much love to each and every one of you. Good night.